Aga, mayad nga agahon. Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in the Philippines. Rainy morning here. It's been a rainy day yesterday, rainy last night, and still raining right now. Having my cup of coffee. Today I'm having something different. I'm not having my regular Copico Blanca. I am having this Nescafe, and it's the brand is French Vanilla Nescafe. This was a gift from my good friend Ivan. He came from Canada. He now lives in Iloilo City. So he got me a whole bag of this thing. So I got like I think 20 pieces, 20 pieces of this. So, but I'm saving it. I've only had like maybe three cups of this because French vanilla, my favorite flavor. I don't get this in the Philippines. We don't have like I have not seen anything 3-in-1 that is French vanilla here. So these are treasured items for me. Again, I'm gonna start today like I always do with the weather, and that tropical depression Christine, it is now turned into a tropical storm. So more winds, more rain. So it's affecting most of Luzon area, and here in our province of Aklan, we are not in the zone as far as tropical storm Crising, Crising, but this is our habagat. This is our monsoon season. Is what is bringing rains here in our area of Panay Island, Aklan Province. We are getting rain now. I think I officially feel that it's rainy season now. It's no longer borderline, because before, it was rainy season. We've had 2 typhoons, but we weren't getting much rain here in Aklan Province. Now we're getting rain. I actually had to cut the live stream yesterday because Liana's school, they suspended school. I dropped Liana off yesterday at 7, and then around 10, the school suspended classes, all classes in Aklan Province. So not just Liana School, Calibo, entire Aklan Province. They announced that suspend school because here in the province of Aklan, we have Aklan River. Aklan River is a massive river here that flows through like several municipalities, several towns in Aklan Province. And yesterday, I got pictures of it. It's a big deal for us. They always monitor the Calibo Numancia Bridge. It's the bridge connecting our town, Numancia, to Calibo. And yesterday, and I'm posting it up because I see my friend Tim. I see my friend Tim from Las Vegas. He knows about the Numancia Calibo Bridge, and the water. Usually, when I pass that bridge, I can look down, and it's at least 20 to 30 feet that it's like before I see water. That's how normally is. But yesterday, the water, this is a picture, one of the picture, it is almost reaching the bridge. This is the Calibo Numancia Bridge. So the water on the river rose at least 20 feet. And that's not even, we didn't even get like a lot, most of that rain, what happens is up from like, I forget the name, up in the mountains, basically. They get a lot of rain in the mountains. It's kind of like similar to what I experienced when I lived in Tucson, Arizona. Kind of like flash floods, like what Texas is experiencing. We're downhill from the mountains. So when the river rises, it's all of a sudden. It really shocks people, because it's like one day, one morning, you're like looking at the water, and it's like, oh, it's like normal, and then in the afternoon, it rises like 20 feet. It's like, it's really incredible for me. Every time I see it, I'm like amazed, because like I'm amazed how fast like the water rises. And on this river, like, I know my friend Tim, he's been here, so he's been, if you see that bridge, there are actually people underneath the bridge that build houses, or build bamboo light material structure. So there's actually people in Calibo. Every time I drive to Calibo on the bridge, I see people on the banks, laying out their laundry. I see light material housing. So usually when the water comes, unfortunately, of course, a lot of those homes, they're light material homes. They're bamboo. They're made of nipa. But still, that is still somebody's house. So, that's why they shut down. They shut down the schools. Like, this is one of the schools in Madalag. This is another picture. This is inside. This is the playground of the school. It's like flooded in this inside, and like this other picture, inside the classroom yesterday, it's flooded. So right now, actually, Calibo has announced no school today, but our town, we're like the next town to Numancia, we're the next town to Calibo. They haven't announced. So I'm kind of waiting. I'm hoping we get a message, that Leanna doesn't have school. But I'm gonna delay her anyway. I'm gonna wait. If usually they're just behind. Usually it's some of the municipalities aren't good at like releasing information, which I don't understand, because like the mayor of Calibo, he announced no school last night. So our mayor, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's an easy message now because of social media. We all are like in the Numancia town page. There's HOA groups. I mean, it's easy to pass information out now. So some schools are, like the whole town of Calibo right now, they suspended school for today already. But we're waiting for our town, which is next door to Calibo. And I'm sure there's going to be parents in the same condition I am, like waiting for the news. But I'm not going to, I'm going to take Leanna to school anyway in the car. So if later around 7, it's only almost 6, but around 7, she'll be in the car anyway. So if I see that there's no kids, we'll just turn back. But it's like that here. It's like anything else, everything's kind of slow. News, things like that move slow. All right, here you go. Finally, mom said class suspension Numancia. So it's official. It's official. Thanks, mom. So now it's official. Leanna doesn't have school today. So at least now, it's like she don't have to go to school. And it's a worry here because a lot of kids here just walk to school, and if you can imagine kindergarten, first grade, they got to wear raincoats, we got to wear umbrella, and if it's pouring outside, it's like, to me, it's not worth sending your kids to school, especially right now. Everybody's got a cold. I'm still trying to get over my cold, but I'm feeling good. I don't have a fever. I don't have a cough. I don't have a runny nose. It's just my voice. It's like my voice always is kind of like when I get sick, takes longer to recover because it got affected with my cancer treatments. My voice is different from before I got cancer treatments because my radiation treatments were around my neck area and my throat area. So I don't think I'll ever get the same voice that I had, but it's, it wasn't like I had a singer's voice or anything, but I could tell, people tell me all the time, oh, you sound different now, but it's all good. It's all good. Hello, host. All right. Thank you, RJ Mix Vlog, for joining the live stream. I did it different. Like I said, I like to go with the flow. I don't really like to go like schedule a time, so I like it where if I'm available, if I'm feeling good, if I'm not sick, I'll go on a live stream. That's why I started it early today. And then usually it catches different people. It's like not everybody's like on the same schedule. It's like maybe I'll catch somebody on their lunch break, or maybe it's their on the way home. It's just everybody's in a different time. That watches the videos. So talking about the tropical storm, I'll add more information now on the tropical storm. It's called Tropical Storm Krising, and it says here possible flash floods, landslides, heavy intense rain. And the areas that's going to be affected by the tropical storm are Batanes, Cagayan, Isabela, Apayao, Ilocos Norte, and Ilocos Sur. Again, northern Luzon. That is always like the trajectory of a lot of typhoons here in the Philippines. We're getting rain in our area, but this is not from any typhoon. This is just our normal habagat. Habagat is monsoon rains. But my friend actually yesterday, he messaged me because I showed him the picture, that I showed you about the water rising to the bridge. And he was like telling me, isn't there like a Corps engineers or something like that in our province that they would develop something where, it doesn't flood in these areas? Unfortunately, I have not heard of anything like that here in the Philippines. A lot of times, the province, especially Aklan, most of Panay Island probably, lower budget. We don't have the big national budget to build like infrastructure. We're behind when it comes to infrastructure here in our province. That's why it doesn't even need to take a typhoon or anything to like cause like events here. Like I'll show you another picture. So you've seen the flood, in schools, flooding in schools. This is like I got this picture. This is a landslide, and the landslide, it says here on this story, 4 houses got eaten by a landslide, and these are nice houses. These aren't like Nipa hut, or these aren't like bamboo houses. These are metal cement houses, and this is in the area is Sebasti Antique. Antique province is the neighboring province here in Aklan. We got Aklan, and then Antique. I can be in Antique from our house here in less than an hour. That's how close we are to Antique province. And they had a landslide that demolished like 4 homes. A lot of factors go into a landslide. You hear stories because they're used to, like, let's say there's a hill or a mountain and they cut too much of the vegetation, so when it rains, there's no trees or anything like that to absorb the rain. So that's one of the causes. That's why when, I always tell people this, building a home here in the Philippines is tricky. You really have to do your research. You really have to know the area. That's why I tell people all the time, rent first, at least 1 year. Live here in the Philippines for a year before you start thinking of buying or start thinking of building, especially, it's like, and, I've often mention this to people. I know you see a lot of videos out there regarding building here, that they can build, amazing stuff, cement, structures and all that. But still, it's like, I have not met a person here in the Philippines that's built anything that did not stress over it, because the construction quality here, there really isn't no inspectors inspecting it. You really have to trust who's your builder, and a lot of times they're not insured, they're not bonded, licensed. Usually builders here, you just meet a guy recommended by an uncle, by a relative. Oh, he built my house, he can build yours, kind of thing. So you're taking a lot of chance when you build there. That's why I say, come here first about a year, and then that way you know the area, you meet people, you get good recommendation. Don't be in a rush. It's like I've seen people that are living in the U.S. They're building a home while they're in the U.S. To me, you're taking a chance, trusting people here to manage it for you. That so many things can go sideways with a build like that. RJ, all right. Juice World fan. Hi. Hello. Greetings and salutations. All right, HD. Aklan River. Yes, Aklan River. It is overflowing right now, HD. It's a scary time for people near the Aklan River. I saw pictures yesterday. Unfortunately, I saw pictures of like animals, cows that pass away, get taken by the river. I'm not gonna show you that. You can Google that if you want. But people are like, I even saw James and Karen. I saw on his page, they're like herding their cattle, cow, because they do, man. It's like on the banks of the Aklan River, many cows like graze. People just let their cows there, and it's a fast moving water. It's like a fast flash flood. That's why it's it's carried some cows. Unfortunately, if you're not alert, man, if you're that's why rainy season here, it's tricky. It's tricky for Filipinos living here, farmers, cattle, people with cattle, not just cows but goats. It's not a fun time. Not of course you see the Philippines all the time. You see like the beaches, the sunshine, the good weather, but rainy season, very challenging for Filipinos, especially like places like in Luzon, North Luzon, Central Luzon, Bicol area. People that live in Eastern Visayas, Leyte, Samar, they know all about typhoons, and it's you can tell, you can sense it's rainy season now. My good friend Larry, hey Tim, our friend Larry, he showed. I think you might have showed. He sent you the picture also, but his resort in Antique, beachfront, very nice resort, nice beach. Dazzle and I went there a few months ago. It's like he has like bamboo nipa, like kubo. It's called kubo on the beach. So Dazzle and I, we were eating halo on that beach with my friend Larry. So we were just chilling there, but he showed me a picture. Now the water is almost like it's eaten most of the beach. The beach is gone, and there's stuff washing into the beachfront, and you can tell it won't take much for like the water on the ocean to like reach like his wall. He built a wall. He built a wall for his resort. So. But with us here, we're just used to it. But it takes some adjustment, and then that's why I say it's really important when you decide on a place in the Philippines. You gotta like weigh the factors, right? You gotta like, am I in a flood area? Am I in a landslide area? Am I in an earthquake area? Am I in a typhoon area? It's like, that's you really have to consider that. It's like I actually watched a video yesterday. I saw it, and it says I wanted to show you the picture. I saw the video, and it said the Philippines was #1 it's like unsafe to travel. I saw the video, and I was like, what? I think it's a firm in Canada, a firm in Canada. I think they just hit like the tourist places, and they rated the Philippines number one unsafe. But now, of course, that kind of like when that news comes out, it goes viral fast. Vloggers here in the Philippines, some of them already have vlogged about it, but now they're retracting the story. I got a top story here. It says Philippines cleared from unsafe travel list after flawed, it says here, after flawed ranking retracted. So this company, it's a Canadian insurance firm called Hello Safe is the insurance firm that came out with this article. It says the Philippines is no longer tagged as one of the world's least safe countries for tourists after Canadian insurance firm Hello Safe formally withdrew and apologized for its controversial travel safety index. I think the Philippines need to sue this place, man, because like Philippines is like tourism is so big here, and for like a firm to do something like that, to me that's a little bit malicious. It's like I think so the Philippine tourism here need to be like, especially you can sue overseas. I think they should file a lawsuit. It's not like the same here in the Philippines. Hardly anybody sues here, but like I would be suing this Canadian firm because that's like that's detrimental to tourism in the Philippines. They don't know how much that would hurt a story like that. You got to be careful when you like release stuff like that, and now you got to retract it. To me, that's embarrassing. That's like like I said, that there has to be some kind of like a penalty for doing something like that. But I read through the article because when I saw it, unsafe, and I read through the article, I mean, they made some good points. Like I said, the Philippines has typhoons, it has earthquakes, it has floods, but most countries have that. I mean, most countries got floods, most countries got like hurricanes, so, and then they looked at, we've had incident in the Philippines in Mindanao about abduction or like when Elliot, when that American got killed in Mindanao. But you can go anywhere in the world, and there's always going to be incidents where you can pick a country that somewhere in that country, like an American or a foreigner will get killed. It's just that's the way it is. So to me, that's why even when I read the article, I knew it was flawed because it's like, to rank the Philippines like above some of the countries listed, I was like, that's kind of crazy. But it is what it is. But like, I wanted to share that because I'm sure people have probably seen that, like the Philippines always said number one unsafe country. I don't think that. I don't think that the Philippines is a number one unsafe country in the world. Greetings in the all right. Thank you. Revelation. Thank you, Revelation. OB, hey, my good friend from Columbia, South Carolina. All right, man. You're back. You're back in. I know you're back from your New York adventure, man. Magandang umaga. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, it's just my voice now, but I was doing push-ups earlier, I was doing push-ups, so I'm feeling good, It's like later after this, I'm gonna do yoga, especially like Leanna doesn't have school, so I'll just do my yoga here. I put it on our TV here, and I follow my yoga. Do yoga for about an hour. Did I take those photos? No, I just it's a screen. I got it screen saved from the internet. The area in and around Bakawan Eco Park floods often when it rains. I'm very familiar with Aklan Kalibo and the surrounding areas. Also Boracay. All right, JG West. Bakawan Eco floods. Yeah, like I said that. even yesterday on the live stream yesterday, there's areas in Calibo that just floods. It could rain for an hour or 30 minutes, downpour, and it'll flood. And that's pretty common here in the Philippines. Even in Iloilo City, even in Rojas City, Angeles City, Manila, España in Manila. There's just places in the Philippines that I guess when the roads were constructed, they low-lying area, drainage not good. So it doesn't take much to like flood different areas here. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's the thing I was saying, HD. Even if it wasn't, that's why earlier I was saying I wasn't gonna send her. And if I did, I would have driven her in the car. I would have been. I'm always extra careful with Leanna. Red Fred, all right. Hey, Red Fred, God bless, God bless. Oh, I just wanted to, before I get, I get going and just my mind's always like different things. But I just want to send my thoughts and prayers to my friend from Las Vegas. He got, really bad news. His father passed away. So I just want to send my thoughts and prayers to my friend in Las Vegas. And that made me think, when that happened, when I got the mess, of course, it made me sad. And I told him condolence. But a few weeks ago, I think about a month ago already, my other friend from Atlanta, I spent some time with him. He came here to Iloilo City. We took him around because he's looking for housing in Iloilo City. We even went to Bacolod with him, our friend from Atlanta. And he got like tragic news, that his daughter passed away. So, sometimes we get carried away with all things in life, even YouTube, all this is nonsense. But, family, it's like, that's why I always make a point, it's like, oversay it to my loved ones, to Dazzle, Leanna, Mom, that I love them because don't forget that. It's like to me that's one thing. It's like I always do. Even the friends that I've met here through our channel, they'll tell you. It's like I always say, hey brother, love you brother. It's like take care. And I mean it because like I don't want to ever get in a situation where I didn't say that, and then if the person, that's the last time you see the person, because you never know, it's like, you never know in life, things just happens, everything just happens suddenly, it's like, I remember when I got the news about my cancer, it's like, I was happy-go-lucky, things were going well, I was running a resto bar, I was like, having fun, then boom, one morning I'm like, you got cancer, so and I know, people reach out to me all the time. They tell me that I'm battling cancer. My friend in Texas, my friend in California, I know my friend from Texas, his wife is going through cancer treatments for breast cancer. And I always like communicate with them privately, and I always tell them, my thoughts and prayers. And they are, it's like when I'm laying in bed, at night, I'm thinking of people that, because it's hard for me not to. When you're like messaging me and we're like texting each other on Messenger or WhatsApp, like this morning, my friend from Iloilo City, he just moved to Iloilo City. And, I'm texting him because like I haven't heard from him in about a week. So I just messaged him, hey man, how's it going? How's everything going? And he texts back and say, hey brother, I appreciate you, man, checking on me. It's like, check on your people, check on your people. It's like, don't forget to do that, because, to me, it's like when we lose people, I think the worst thing that could happen is that when you lose someone, when you don't say that I love you one last time, or don't appreciate the time, because, like I said, we get busy with life. It's like, to me, we get busy so many times with like nonsense. For me, I just want to pass the message. Don't forget your loved ones. Make sure you hug them. Make sure you like, because I know, when my friend, from Las Vegas when he told me that. It made me sad because I know he was close to his dad. But he was thinking before of retiring here in the Philippines, because he's all set here. He's got a house here, he's got a nice pension, but the thing that's keeping him in the U.S. is his dad, so he didn't want to leave his dad, and unfortunately, he was here. He's only been here like a couple of, not even 2 months, so now he's got to fly back. He was hoping to stay here for a few more months, but, like I said, things happen, and, things happen, but just keeping my thoughts and prayers for my friend from Las Vegas. Like in most cases, you need to be flexible in life. Yes, yes. So true, so true. I think that applies more here in the Philippines than anywhere, Rev Fred. It's like, I always tell people that, that if they plan on coming here to the Philippines, it's a major adjustment. I messaged my friend earlier in Iloilo City, because I got to meet him in person, walk around looking for his condo. But when I met him, I can tell he was still like, Ginno, how do I do this? Ginno, how do I do this? How about this, Ginno? How about... He had like tons of questions, of course, which I understood. No worries, I'm always happy to share my knowledge, share my experiences, good or bad, I'm always willing to do that. But the thing I reiterated to him this morning, the thing that I told him again is like, and I see this so common with many people moving here to the Philippines is because you're coming from a developed country, you're coming from the US, you're coming from Canada, life in the US is like go, 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 nonstop. You're like, your mind is like going 100 miles an hour in the US. You got your work, you got your kids, you got your spouse, you got your chores in the house, you got your car, you got your insurance, you got bills. It's like your mind is just like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Well, that you gotta now when you come to the Philippines is like, this is island time. I always this is like the way I look at life in the Philippines. Island time in the Philippines. It's like everything moves here slow. Everything is like waiting in line. Everything is it is not efficient here. If you got that mindset that, I got to get this done, today I'm going to do this. You got an agenda, right? You got I got to go to the bank. I got to go to the grocery. I got to pick up the kids. You're trying to do this thing. Here in the Philippines, a lot of times it's not going to work as efficient as it is in the U.S. I remember in the U.S. when I was working, even on my lunch break, if I got like an hour lunch break, and that hour lunch break, I can squeeze in stuff there. I can go to the post office. I can go to the bank. I can go get a drive-through, get my food, and be back at work. Plenty of time, right? You just can't do that here because a trip to the bank here, if you go to the bank here, even just using an ATM on the bank can take you 30 minutes, or parking. Like if you're if it's not a drive-through, there's Calibo, I don't think we do not have a single drive-through ATM in Calibo. The only drive-through we have in Calibo, we have a McDonald's drive-through and a Jollibee drive-through. And those two places got insane lines. The Jollibee especially. We have one Jollibee drive-through here, and we got a drive-through there, and usually 10 cars, easy. Sometimes it's blocked in the street. Right there by... there's a big Jollibee sign by the Calibo Salakot, that and their entrance to their drive-through is on the main road there. So a lot of times they're so long on the line that it extends to the road. So the road is only 2 lanes, and so it congests traffic because of Jollibee. Because it's so and. It's not the fastest. It's not the fastest drive-through, either. A lot of times they're you'll get to your order, you get to the window, you pay, and they'll tell you, "Sir, park over there." So you got to park anyway. They have a designated spot for you to park, and you have to sit there anyway. But like I said, Philippines moves on island time. Moves on island time. So I told my friend, it's like take it easy on yourself. It's like uh, I was noticing he felt pressured. Like when I met him in person. Like I knew he wasn't sleeping well. I knew that he mentioned to me because like he's thinking about his visa. He's thinking about at least he secured a condo. He's found a nice condo, so that was a big help. But he's even thinking about where would to get good ground beef, good things like that. And I was telling him it's like, man, you're retired now. You can take your time now. But it's amazing because I've not only seen it in him, I've seen it in most people that retire here because it probably happened to me. I just probably never noticed it. But when I came here 14 years ago, when I went to Boracay, because we're like I said, for me for over 30 years, you're like go go go. You're always like, you're like the minute you wake up in the morning, I would just get dressed, run for an hour, shower, get in my car, stop at Starbucks, stop at Krispy Kreme on the way to work, get to work, have to be in a meeting, that life, I did that, and I know most people, that's the life we have in America, where there's just not enough time. That's a common thing in America that people say. It's like, I just don't have enough time to do everything, which now in the Philippines is different. Now, most people, majority of people that come here don't work, except for digital nomads. I know there's a lot of digital nomads that come here, but most people come here to retire. Most people, they have their Social Security, they have their pension, they have their income that they come here to retire, to build a new life, a different life, a slower paced life, So I just reminded that to him. I told him, I think I know what I noticed with him. I think he was just hard on himself, So my friend in Iloilo, don't be hard on yourself, man. It's like you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You got a friend in me. It's like I'm a message away. We're on WhatsApp. We're on Messenger. If you have any questions, you got a friend. You got a friend. Ria, all right, my good friend in Tennessee. I'm glad. Thank you. Yes, I keep hydrating. That works for me when I hydrate. And then I know I'm feeling good when I'm able to work out again. It's like even now I'm gonna during the day. I might even walk in the rain. I'll bring an umbrella, I'll wear a raincoat because I do miss walking. It's like that's my routine, and I didn't get a chance to walk yesterday because it was raining for most of yesterday. I don't go many days where I don't walk, so I know. Yeah, I'll walk later. I might even film. Even with an umbrella. I'll film, make a video. And I haven't made any videos. That's why there's no video that came out last. I tried to push the videos out, but I got zero. Usually I'm ahead. Usually I'm like 4 videos ahead, but like right now I have zero videos made because I gotten sick. I was sick Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Starting feeling better the past couple of days, but I'll jump back on it. I'll start filming again. That's why I keep trying to do the live stream, so at least this counts like as a video. Update people on what's going on here. Watching from Michigan. All right, Javier Garza. All right. We are 12 hours behind you here. Ottawa. All right. 12 hours. Now I know. I think it's the same for the East Coast. People in the East Coast in the U.S. Are 12 hours behind me. Oracle. Good morning, Ginno. Just finished my morning walk. Now enjoying some Colombian coffee. All right. I've heard about Colombian coffee. I probably had Colombian coffee at one time because you know how Starbucks in the U.S. They import a lot of like beans and they always display. And I remember in the U.S. on Starbucks they came in that white kind of like a foil package, and I would try different coffee beans from different countries. This one I like. It's Nescafe French Vanilla. This came from my good friend Ivan in Iloilo City from Canada. He brought it all the way from Canada. Imagine that. He brought like this whole packet of it and he gave it to me when I saw him. And that's why I appreciate people when they do that because to me, those are the gifts that mean something to me because they watch the channel, they know what I like, and they took the extra effort to carry that in their suitcase. That's like, it touches me every time I get gifts like that. Like t-shirt, like this t-shirt right here. This came from my good friend Joel in Arizona. He brought me this United States Air Force t-shirt. That's why I always wear these Air Force t-shirts because they're given to me by good friends. That's why now I pay people back. Now I got cups. That's what I do. When people give me gifts, I'm always, when I meet a subscriber, I got these cups ready. So and I don't sell the cups. It's a gift from us. I want, since people are so kind to us, people always give us gifts. I wanted like the design here by HD, that logo, Dazzle TV there. Dazzle helped out with the rest. Yellow cup. Yellow is my favorite color. So if you come visit me here, Calibo, Boracay, Iloilo, I'll do my best to have a cup for you. And the special ones like Tordi, I'm having Dazzle design a cup where we'll put like a hammer there, Tordi or something, added to the picture. For me, I always like gifts that had a lot of thought to it. It's like, the person cared for you when you get a gift that's like more personal, right? It's like it's not like when you get a gift certificate. It's like, I don't mind a gift certificate. I remember in the U.S., my boss used to give me I remember when I worked at St. Mary's Hospital, every Christmas I would get like a gift card. You always get a gift card from your boss. But it's just more personal when you got like something that you thought about. Like for me, a Nescafe French vanilla coffee. I mean, it took, that person, knew what I like and picked it. So to me, that means a lot to me when people do that. We also have issued with flash flooding this past few days. Eastern, at least 2 people, New York. Oh, I thought I did see something like in New Jersey too, right? Like there's like, I saw like a video or something, flooding in New Jersey. That's just unfortunate. Yeah, tragedy, when, like I said, it's so tragic when stuff like that happens. That's why, man, you gotta hug your family. You gotta always tell your family, you love them because you just never know. You never know what life brings sometimes. I still watch videos of like Texas, the flash flood in Texas because I lived in San Antonio, Texas. The Guadalupe River, I used to like kayak there, only about an hour from San Antonio. And it just heartbreaking when you see that because especially the kids, man, I could not imagine, going through life, raising a kid and then sending him off to like a summer camp and then something like so tragic happens. It's like my prayers go out to them. That's just, it's like that's why we have to cherish our loved ones because like you just never know, man. I am looking forward to going to visit you for many reasons. One of them is to get one of those coffee. You got one, Rev Fred. And we'll think of something to personalize yours too, Rev Fred. I handed out a few cups in Iloilo City when Dazzle and I were there. couple of our friends got cups when we were in Iloilo City. Oh, Fortune, good morning. Good morning, Fortune. Hopefully the rains aren't affecting you too much in your area, Bacoor, Cavite, and your trip to Manila by UP Diliman. Hopefully not affecting too much. I know Crising is like towards Ilocos Sur, Ilocos Norte, Cagayan. So, but I know that brings rain in Luzon. Early start, yes, yes. Like I said, fortunate for me, it's like Liana doesn't have school. I was kind of waiting on the news earlier. It finally came. Mom showed me no class for her at 6 a.m. So I can keep this my plan was just I was gonna go live stream, and then if I had to take Liana to school, I would have taken her. Then I'd come back and restart the live stream. But I can keep going now. It's like I like doing the live stream at different times because I know not everybody's on one schedule. It's like I try to do them in the morning because that's my free time. Dazzle's asleep when it's in the morning like this, so I consider it my time. So it's like I can spend time doing live streams. Yes, just going with the flow of the day. Yes, thank you, HD. Yeah, I just don't like schedules, man. It's like I think that's the retired life, right? It's like not having a watch, not having a schedule. I only wear a watch because I have to stay with Leanna. When I take her to school, I'm always kind of like check, oh, what time is it? I got to pick up Leanna, and I don't want her to be waiting out there. Oh, where's my kuya? It's like no class. Yeah, no classes here too. Aklan province. No classes in Aklan too. Yesterday, no classes. That's why I had to run real quick yesterday when Dazzle got the message from the group chat. I took Leanna to school at 7 a.m. and then at 10 a.m. They announced, suspension of classes in whole of Aklan because Aklan River rose like 20 feet. It's like it's suddenly, that's how flash floods. That's how Aklan River's like that. It's like amazes me how that works. It's like you could be in the morning like at 10 a.m. Aklan River's like normal water, and in 6 hours it rises like 15, 20 feet. It's like I guess in the mountains, all the rain in the mountains, and they all come through the Aklan River. And here in Calibo, especially, they keep an eye out on Aklan River because Calibo, the town of Calibo, is on the banks of the Aklan River. So when Aklan River rises and there's rain included still in Calibo, there's the waters in Calibo. There's no place to go. So there's areas. A lot of areas actually, low-lying areas. Like when I lived at Capitol area by where the governor's office is in Calibo, I lived there for 4 years because I went to school at STI College Calibo. I went back to college. My apartment was a walking distance to my school. And Dazzle and I, it's like our classmates, they all had boarding houses along the way there. We would all kind of meet up. We all kind of knew what time everybody would go to school, and we would just walk to school. But there were many days when we would be in class and it would be a downpour, and they would release us like if we had to go home like at 5, sometimes 7 p.m. is the release. That road at the Capitol area, knee-high water already. When we're going like, okay, it's like I have walked before on like a walk because like the tricycles too, some of them are brave enough, but you're still gonna get wet even on the tricycles when you ride the tricycles. Even though it's only like 3 blocks to walk, you're still gonna get wet anyway because one thing about rain in the Philippines, when it rains here, man, it rains sideways, it rains with the wind, you're gonna get wet. I don't care if you have like a raincoat, a hoodie, an umbrella, you're gonna get wet and soaked. And a lot of times, there's no getting around walking in flood water. And that's dangerous anyway to walk in flood water because you don't know what kind of diseases you can catch. That's why it's great that school system here knows that the minute there's rain, the minute there's like flood, possibility of flood, that no school, because last thing you need is little kids like running around in like flood waters. Kids are getting sick anyway this time of year when it's rainy season. It's like it's hard to not get the kids not sick here. Like even with Leanna, it's hard not to, she's around other kids. There's always kids coughing. I even have Leanna start wearing a mask in class because because if she gets sick, chances are I'll catch it. Because I have a compromised immune system. It's easy for me. Oh, all right. Right there, my friend, from Texas. I was just thinking about you, my friend. That's why I mentioned his wife is the one that's going through. I got a message on Messenger. It popped up there. His wife's going through some cancer treatment. So that's why people, when people reach out to me and tell me I'm going through cancer, and all that, I remember them. It's like, I guess it's because I'm a cancer recovery patient. So I think when people reach out, I remember every single one. It's like that's why I follow up. If they message me, I might not be able to follow up in like 2-3 weeks, but I check on people like every month, because it means to me, because I know even that one single person sometimes saying, hey man, hang in there. It's like, I know it's rough, because people that gone through it like me, I know how hard it is. I know it's like, I was blessed enough, when I went through my cancer treatments, I had Dazzle. I had a good family support here. My dogs even, it's like, I didn't have to worry about my dogs, because Dazzle's family were in our house here. Dazzle and I lived in Iloilo City for 4 months when I went through my cancer treatments. And our dogs here, I knew were well taken care of by that family, our family here. So to me, that meant a lot to me. It's like my dogs are like important to me, and just knowing, like, we would video call. Oh, there's another friend of mine from. I get these messages on top here. He says, my other friend from Vermont. He just moved to Iloilo City, but to me, I know even when I was going through my treatments, there were people with like there were just people that touched my heart. That's why I always wanted to give back. I always want to make sure that when I know someone is going through, like, not just cancer. I have another friend. He's in Tucson, Arizona. He's going through medical issues. I keep track. I'll make sure, hey man, hang in there. It's like, I know it's not easy. Because sometimes like a little push like that, just a little encouragement. Sometimes just one person thinking about you. It's like, we live in kind of like world sometimes now where it seems like people care less about others. It's like, and I know when I reach out to people, I know it's like, hey man, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It's like, I like that. I like sharing the love, man. It's like, too much hate sometimes, and too much negativity happens in the world. Little bit of love is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Good morning, JB Manalang, my good friend from Sydney, Australia. Good day, everyone. When fitness and I remember, Ria, I know you went through some family too. I know our family house is close to the Aklan River. Ooh, it's a very problematic property. It floods so much. You see, that's the thing. That's why I mentioned earlier. It's like very important. Before you buy, before you build anything here in the Philippines, those are the things that you gotta know, right? Before you invest money here. That's why I tell people, live here first. Live here first. I've had friends that done that. It's like, I don't know if they followed my advice, but they did that. Like my friend Brian from Houston, he lived in Calibo for 1 year. He rented one of the he didn't rent at La Casa Española because I didn't know about that complex yet, but he rented at another 2-bedroom. I did a film on it, a video on it. 2-bedroom, 1 bath, fully furnished, and he rented it for a year with his wife. And they stayed there a year. He got to know Calibo. He got to know the area. Aklan, traveled Aklan. And then a few months ago, about 6 months ago, he finally bought, they bought his wife's Filipinas, so they're able to buy land. They bought a house, an older house actually, in Lezo. Lezo Aklan is like right next door to our town. I can go to Lezo in 10 minutes. And the property he got, he refurbished everything. I mean, now it looks amazing. It's like good property too, because Gloria likes to plant. So now she's got like plants galore. She's got like trees, plants. He fenced it. He built like a cement wall, a gate, nice gate. His whole house, it's got like the industrial look. I really like how he did it. And one of the things Brian told me, one of the luxuries that he was gonna have here in the Philippines is like his whole house is air conditioned. He can regulate the cooling. He's got a cooling system in his house where it's nice and cool in his house. He doesn't have to suffer like the humidity and all that, because that was one of the things. Brian's a tall guy. I mean, he's like 6'3", 6'4", big guy. So he played football. He played football back in his youth. But now he's retired. He's on Social Security. So he's like, one of the things that he said that was important to him was to have air conditioning all the time, to have a nice, cool home, and he does. We went there. They went to lunch with them. Gloria had made us an amazing lunch, and then we spent time with them. And it's like, man, Brian's got a nice spot. He's got a nice spot. He built himself a nice home in Lezo, Aklan. Yeah, even some of our friends, we have friends, Ria, that live in Calibo. They're always on the flood watch. And to me, man, that's a hard way, right? That's a hard way to live, But for them, for a lot of them, it's kind of like, it's the home they grew up on. It's like it's their family home. So it's not like they can't leave. And then chances are those homes are hard to sell. Once they whoever built the home years and years ago didn't expect it to like be in a flood area. Because that's one thing that I remember when I was in the U.S. You can always get like a flood map, right? You can always get like that way if you're in a flood area or a flood zone. I don't think they have that kind of stuff here. It's like usually the flood area, like in Aklan River or the towns like Ria, usually it's just by knowledge, passed down knowledge. People just know, oh, that area floods a lot. Like here in Numancia, I know exactly where the areas here that floods. There's an area close to here, the subdivision, that it always floods the road. Sometimes the flood will be like waist high. You can't pass your car through it because there's a little creek, and that little creek always like rises. There's just places like that. And like I said, in the Philippines, that's very common. When I was going to school in Manila, when I lived in Quezon City, like I mentioned before, I would ride a jeepney to school. Took me like 45 minutes to an hour from Quezon City in Frisco, San Francisco del Monte, Quezon City, to go to Intramuros, to my school. And I was always pass España. And España by University of Santo Tomas. The people that here in the Philippines, in Manila, they know this, that area always floods. It doesn't even take much rain and that area floods. It's just, there's areas like that, even in Iloilo City, even in Rojas City. There's just areas where, unfortunately, whoever built things in that certain areas, it's just flood prone. flood-prone area. And you'll see that anyway too. Like if when I travel through Aklan province, when I'm going to Iloilo City, driving on the highway, you see signs. You see signs on the road says flood-prone area. You know, watch out, flash flood. You know, it's like so. It's one of those things. The Philippines, we get a lot of rain. I think I saw an article one time. We're like in the top 10 in the world that gets rain. The Philippines gets in the top 10 in the world as far as getting rain each year. We get a lot of rain. You know, we're in a tropical nation. You know, typhoons come here, rain comes here. You know, it's like, that's why it's so green. You know, it's like everywhere you go here is so green because we get so much rain. Hello, JBHD. All right. Nuke. Extra chromosome. A third eye? A third eye? No, I don't have. That's a mole. I got a mole. You know, like that's not a third eye. I've had this since I was a little kid, so it's not like a cancerous mole or anything like that. I'm prepared. I think I can. I had this light on because it was dark earlier, but I think I can get away without it now. Oh, I'll keep it on. It's not hurting the view here. That's what got me this because when I was doing live stream in Boracay, it was dark sometimes, so she got me this. Kind of works. I like it. It's a little fan too. Fortune. I prepared the Fortuner last night for use today, but decided to stay home to be safe. Good. I like that. The Fortuner. I like that, man. You picked the right car for your name, Fortune. That's awesome. Last October, I got stranded using the Civic. Left work at 7 p.m. Got home. Whew. Ooh, wow. Without moving. Yeah, man. I know, right? That's, man, but that's good that you have a Fortuner because, you know, it's a high SUV. You know, if you get stranded, at least that would be better than the Civic. You know, it would have. I know, but it was tight in that Civic. You know, for that many hours. I remember that too, Fortune, when I was a little kid going to school. I would get stranded, man. You know, it's like I don't know. You know, I guess before you don't have social media. You don't have release of information as fast as we do now, which is I'm glad we do because like at least Leanna doesn't have to go to school. But I remember many times where I went from Quezon City. You go to school in Manila. You go, you know, it takes you that travel, you know, and then when you get to school, you'll be there like then halfway through the day at 11 a.m. they go class suspension. Kids go home, but it's downpouring already, and you're going like, oh no, you know, it's like, how am I gonna get home? You know, it's like, at least now they do this preemptive. You know, it's like, I'm sure you experienced that too, right, Fortune? You know, where you're in Manila and you're like, dang, you know, it's like flooding. You know, how do I get out of here? You know. And then you subject kids to that, you know. It's like, man, I was like young. I was like 10, 11, 12, you know, when I was like going to school by myself. I remember I would go to school by myself at Letron. I had my classmates. That's the only thing, you know, only good thing. I wasn't the only one living in Quezon City that would ride a jeepney. I had a group of friends that we would kind of meet up. We kind of knew what time we would go to school, and then we would meet up at the jeepney or ride together, or especially going home from Letron. You know, it's like we had our bags, school bags, and we would take up like sometimes like 4 or 5 seats on the jeepney, and we all knew where each stops. Hey man, that's your stop. You know, see you tomorrow. You know, it's like that's why it's I still have friends. You know, like from elementary school because of that. Because you bond with that. You know, it's like I think that's why here in the Philippines I know it's not the same in the U.S. I know it's not. You know, I know they have reunions in the U.S. Of course, they have high school reunions in the U.S. I don't hear many elementary reunions in the U.S., but here in the Philippines, man, reunions here are big. You know, your elementary graduation, elementary school, your high school, and of college. There's just like reunions here for that. People that are like in their 50s, 60s having an elementary reunion. Mom just went to one. It's like her elementary graduation reunion in Malay a few months ago. Mom went to that. So very common here for Filipinos love like school reunions. That's a different dynamic. Than in the U.S. I know they do have high school reunions in the U.S., but a lot of times, like, I don't even remember much of my high school. It's like, not many people I remember from my high school in Long Beach, maybe a few, but I haven't kept in track with them because, it's just a different culture. Americans kind of like, you go to high school, you graduate, everybody like go their own way. People join the military, people go to college, people go overseas. It's like people just travel different paths. Here in the Philippines, a lot of times, you graduate elementary school, a lot of times, like Liana is a perfect example. She graduates elementary school in Numancia. She goes to high school. It's the same group of people. It's the same group of kids that she's going to high school with. And then when they graduate high school, those same kids, they're going to go to Calibo to college. So there's just a bond. There's a bond with going to school in the Philippines. That's why, I still have, for my Letron College elementary days, I have friends from that group. We have reunions. I haven't attended it because it's in Manila, it's in Letron. It's like I haven't been there in a few years, but they always have reunions. And what they do is it's not just like when they have a reunion here. It's not like, okay, class of '83. What they do is like let's say STI College Calibo, or let's say Pilot Elementary School in Calibo. They'll schedule a reunion, but they'll invite all the different batches. Like when it's kind of like a Calibo Pilot School reunion. They will have a class from the 50s, from the 60s, 70s. So when everybody comes, it's like, it's a big event. There's a lot of people. It's not just like 1 year, one class. No, it's like usually like they'll have representatives from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. It's like, it's amazing. It's like a big thing for Filipinos to have reunions in school. Hope all are safe. Yes, Fortune, of course. We're not going anywhere today. Everybody's just gonna stay home. We got enough groceries here. It's not like we need to. I can probably still make it to the public market, Numancia public market. I know they wanted, the Dazzle and Mom wanted to get like eggplant, kangkong, to cook a veggie dish. Today is like Mongo Day. Friday's Mongo Day. So I pick up some stuff to make Mongo for lunch today. Better be safe, yes. I don't want learn. Yeah, man, I can imagine if you had to like stay overnight in your car, man, Fortune, that you had to rough that one, man. And plus if it was raining too, it's like you always worry if your car's gonna get flooded, if you're gonna that kind of thing. Any luck with finding a contractor for your? Actually, I think I have OB. This guy, Lelong is his name. Lelong, recommended by Brian, my friend Brian. The one that purchased a home in Lezo. When Brian purchased the house in Lezo, really good deal on the house because when he purchased the house didn't look much. I mean, the house had strong bones, is what I call it, because it's all cement. The house was all cement, but you could tell it needed work. And Lelong was the one that helped Brian get his house built, make it nice. And right now he's doing a job for us. Lelong is doing a job for us. Two of our doors, our bedroom doors upstairs, Camellia, when they built these homes, I mean, they're solid. Like I said, all the walls here are cement, solid cement walls. Our roof, it's like bolted, our metal roof's bolted to the cement wall, so it ain't flying anywhere. No repairs hardly here. But the one thing that Camellia Aklan skimp out of is like our doors upstairs in our room, it's like made of plastic. And even like where they screw it, Olsen, the door, they screw it, usually you screw it like to like a wood frame, right? Even the frame was plastic. So of course, over time, opening the door, closing the doors are like shaky. It's like, so I told Lelong replace the doors. So he's gonna replace the doors with nicer doors. So two doors, and then Mom and Leanna's room. They're roommates. Their room is smaller than Dazzle and I's bedroom. Our room is not big anyway, but their room is even smaller. So it's a tight fit for them to be on one bed, but they manage. Filipinos, and you know how Filipinos, we manage. But we're having Lelong build like Lelong's a carpenter. He's also a contractor, so we're having him build like a custom bunk bed with like storage on the bottom, shelves for Leanna on top. So he's built. I already gave him a down payment. He's charging me about 22,000 pesos. 22,000 pesos. That's about 400, almost $400 for installation of two new doors in a custom built bunk bed. Because I can't just buy a bunk bed because it won't fit in the room. The room is like odd, it's like the way, it's not a standard room. So that's why we have to build like a custom bunk bed for them. So that should create more space for them, and then storage underneath for their stuff. So I'll see Lelong's work. So after this project, I'll see how he does it, and then. But I have faith in him because I've seen his work from Brian's house. So that would be the next. The next would be. We're still saving for it now. Also, it's like I got to get a quote from Lelong to add another room here downstairs. But yeah, depending on his work here and what I've seen, the work he's done at Brian's house, I think he can do it. And you know how you just get good vibe from people? When I met him, I just get good vibe. It's like that's always important to me when I contract with somebody, or you got to get that good vibe. Meet the person. It's like he seems to be a very honest guy, humble. Soft spoken. I like that. So. And Brian would not have recommended him. Good morning, brother. Have a wonderful mabuhay. All right, fresh aloha. All right, my friend in Hawaii. All right, thank you, brother. Fortune, don't send her to school, not Ginno. Yes, I don't. I wasn't. That's why when Mom earlier, she was like waiting. We were both down here. Mom was having her coffee too, and we're waiting. I told her, no, it's okay. We'll see. Leanna can be late. I even told her Leanna can be late. And if I took her, I would have taken in the car, not on Bumblebee. And I would make sure that I'm very protective of Leanna, man. It's like, Hey, Gray. All right. Good morning, Gray. Good morning. Story about being a friend and making friends later in life. Oh, thank you, Gray. You're always kind, brother. Thank you. Oh, Gray is my Gray on his trip here. He gave me a starter like stamp collection. A lot of American stamps. When I was a little kid here in the Philippines, I was a big stamp collector. That was like my favorite thing. In Letron College, for some reason, my classmates, we were all into stamps, worldwide stamps, and we would trade them. It was our baseball cards, basically, since we didn't have baseball cards when I was a kid at Letron College. So stamps was big for us. And I had lost my stamp collection during the move, going to the U.S., of course. And I wasn't able to bring it to the U.S. And then I got to the U.S. It wasn't a thing. It's like I'll probably get beat up in in Long Beach if I collected stamps. It's like so it's like I kind of lost track of like how much I love collecting stamps. And I had mentioned to Gray because he had stamps. He's got an amazing collection of stamps. So on this trip to the Philippines, he brought some stamps for me, and I really appreciate it, Gray. I think I even got Dazzle involved with the stamp. I got me some stamp albums, and Dazzle and I are organizing the stamps. So amazing. I mean, we're having so much fun. It's like there's one stamp set. It was a bicentennial stamp set, and it had a flag. Each stamp of the state, like state of Arkansas, and their flag of the state. So each of the stamp. So we were organizing that yesterday. So it's so cool, so cool. It's like once I got it organized, I'll show you guys that my new stamp collection, my new hobby. My new hobby. I love stamps. It's just the history on them. It's like when I look at a stamp, and especially with Google now, Google's awesome. You can even take a picture of the stamp, and but now you can research the stamp because some of the stamps that Gray gave us are like 1920s, 1930s American stamp, and some of the stamps aren't even used yet, and those are more value. There's more value in stamps when it's unused and in mint condition, and Gray was just so kind. Gray, he gave us some really cool stamps. Really appreciate it, my brother. JB Manalan, that's heavy stuff. Condolences. Yes, I know. That's why I think of those. It's like when my friends share stuff like that to me, it's like I always think of them because like, man, I put myself in their shoes a lot of times, and I just can't imagine. I've had some stuff happen to me in my life too, but it's like I've always just learned to move on. It's like death is one of those things. We are gonna go through death in the family, but one thing I always like, I just cherish the moment with people. And again, that's why I'm big on telling people that I love them, that I hug them, because it's like, if something ever happens, at least you got that good memory. At least you don't have that regret. Oh man, I wish I did this one last time. It's like, Lucita. Hey Ginno, good morning. Sending you and your family a positive thoughts. And thank you for the, all right, you're welcome. My good friend in Maine. I love Lucita that we're friends on Facebook now because I can see like your different posts, and I enjoy them. You have a beautiful family in Maine. Great. It could be a cookbook with recipes that are good for going through loss. I find s'mores to be incredibly helpful when going through a tough spot. Yeah. It's like a comfort, right? Like comfort food, Gray. Yeah, there's certain things that I know bring us comfort. I'll think of something. I know Dazzle. Dazzle's the same. It's like when Dazzle's like feeling a little blue. She always gets blue when she thinks her grandma. Dazzle had a special relationship with her grandma. So, and sometimes, I think a couple of weeks ago, she was crying because she dreamt of grandma. So I always can sense when she gets blue like that, and I always like, hey babe, let's go out, let's go get something that you like, I take her to Tambak, because she likes the seafood, she likes like fresh oysters, things like that. So I always know when to comfort Dazzle with food. And Gray knows Dazzle gets comforted with food. When it's food, food makes Dazzle happy, especially dessert. Gray's have been a witness where we've eaten dessert before we eat the meal. Because Dazzle likes dessert so much. It's raining hard again. It's raining hard here again. People have different ways in dealing with grief from the loss of loved one. Best to choose the healthier method in that process, like going out for a walk. Yes. Oh, always positive way, right? HD, it's like, like you said, people handled things differently. Me, I've always been, pretty good at handling like a loss because like I've lost many. It's like some of my military buddies, some family members. I lost my brother a few years ago. So there's just things that I do. That I do. Always thinking that for me, I think what works is like when I remember people that I care for that I've lost already, I always like remember good memories. I don't focus on like I focus on, oh, I remember when we went swimming or we went to this beach, or good thoughts. Good thoughts is what I try to do. And I always tell Dazzle that, always remember grandma, all the, that's why she gets sad when she thinks of grandma, because they had so much fun together over the years. Mom used to work a lot in Boracay. She was a masseuse in Boracay. So Dazzle, growing up, she basically, grandma was her provider every day. Make sure she had a lunch box for school. When she got home, she's eager to see grandma. So that's why I always just tell Dazzle, just always just remember all the good, all the good stuff. LOL, JJ West. I remember going to Minute Burger in Calibo. I know that place, and I've been to that Minute Burger. Minute Burger is like you buy one, take one. Everything's buy one, take one. You won't buy one, and the burgers are like what, $1, like 55 pesos, and it'd be like 2 burgers. They're pretty decent burgers too. I like Minute Burger in Calibo near Pastrana. It took 45 minutes. Good food though. Good food though. Oh yeah, it's called Minute Burger, but it's not a fast burger, because there's always a crowd, that's a pop, anytime you got buy one take one, a popular place, especially where like students like to eat, it's not going to be fast service. It's going to take a while to get your food. Always align, always align. People have been programmed to work that most don't know how to retire, especially they keep increasing retirement age. Yeah. I always, that's why my advice, like the people that I've helped move here, and then when they finally get here, perfect example, my friend in Iloilo City. I've been kind of coaching him before he got here, helping him with different things, but I think he's realizing it now. It's one thing to like plan. It's one thing to like have everything lined up, which is great. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to research. You're supposed to be ready for retirement. But it's different once you're here. It's you can read, you can watch videos, hear people about all the inefficiencies here, the waiting time and all that. But until you're in it, even my friend from Las Vegas, when he opened a bank account, his wife opened a bank account, Philippine bank account, and it took him like 5 hours, he said. And he can't sit still anyway because he's got like a, back issue, things like that. So he's like, and usually banks have the most uncomfortable chairs, Sometimes the bank have those airport chairs, the metal ones where you sit, there's no cushion. And if you got to sit there 4 or 5 hours, it's torture. It's torture. And that's what he felt. He said, man, I have not gone through anything like that. Opening a bank account took him like 5 hours. It takes a lot of patience, and then like I said, when you get here, it's just a different. Things move slow, It's on island time, so when you get here, it's kind of like a big adjustment from life. U.S. life is so efficient, It's like everything in the U.S. is like online. Everything's on your phone, Here in Calibo, we don't even have Grab here. There's no Grab here. There's no Grab taxi here. Or because my friend asked me that, one of my friends, is there taxi here, Ginno? One time we did have a yellow taxi by the airport in Calibo. But I have not seen a yellow taxi now because I've dropped and picked off a friend in Calibo Airport. All the yellow taxis are gone. I don't see them in Calibo. The main transportation in Calibo is a tricycle. The jeepney you can use because if you're traveling to a different town, like to New Washington, to Balete, like James and Karen and them, you can ride a jeepney. But jeepneys, they're not really on a schedule. They just like, they park, there's a parking area where the jeepneys are. They load the jeepney and they go. So it's not kind of, it's, but there's no, like I said, there's no, my friend was asking me about taxi, and I said, I have not seen the taxis anymore. There used to be, because Calibo Airport used to be, I would say, majority of flights coming into Aklan province to people going to Boracay used to land in Calibo Airport. So that made Calibo, our town of Calibo, busy because of that arrivals at I would before the pandemic, right after the pandemic, I would say at least 12 airplanes land in Calibo every day. Domestic flights and international flights. We used to get a lot of flights from China. Wuhan, China. We got we used to have a flight every week from Wuhan, China. Korea, we used to, Singapore, Taiwan, they all used to land in Calibo, and that's why they built this beautiful airport in Calibo, because when I first got here, Calibo, it wasn't much of an airport, but they spent all this money to build up the terminal, really nice terminal, even had at one time a duty-free section, even had a Seattle's Best section, but all of a sudden, the flights are gone. It's like all the flights now go to Katiklan, the Katiklan Aklan. So I would say we're lucky to see a couple of planes a day now in Calibo. It's like Calibo Airport's a ghost town now. There's, so that affected the taxis because there's no more, no more passengers landing in Calibo. So I haven't seen the yellow taxis. They used to you used to be able to, people would land in Calibo Airport, they would take that yellow taxi all the way to Katiklan to take them to Boracay. So I don't even know what happened to those taxis. I have not seen a taxi now in so long in Calibo. No taxi, no Grab. It's tricycle. It's tricycle here in Calibo. Great advice. We could all take a little time for stores when experience major change in life. Maybe cook your favorite. Like s'mores. Oh, too bad we didn't make s'mores. Great. Now next time we'll have to make s'mores. Before you move to the Philippines, you should change that mindset of keeping up with the Joneses. People have been so indoctrinated into consumerism cult. I myself have issues with that. Yeah. That's, I think once you move to the Philippines, that would go away anyway, HD, naturally. Unless you live like in BGC, or in Manila, where you got like expensive subdivisions, people driving fancy cars like in the US. But if you come to Aklan province, like Aklan province, HD, I think it's just natural for you to start losing a lot of the material, buying things, because there's not much to buy here. We don't have SM mall here. I mean, Gran Gaisano, you can go there, but it's still, it's a department store, but there's still not a lot of stuff there. There's not a lot of Nikes, limited, very limited. Even like the athletic shoe department there at the Gran Gaisano, I think they might have an Adidas brand, but some of the brands there, like World something, shoes that I've never seen the brands, I know they're not American, they must be like some were here in, they're cheaper, and you can tell they're cheaper shoes, so it's not like there's a lot of stuff here in Aklan where you can buy, and even like on vehicles, it's not like, when you come here, we have 3 dealerships now in Calibo. We only have, in Numancia, we have Toyota dealership. And in Kalibo, we have a Nissan dealership and we have a Suzuki dealership. And it's not like the dealerships that when you go to the US, when you go to a Toyota dealership, that Toyota dealership would have like 50 to 100 cars. And you can go in there, drop your money and like, hey, I want that car. It's like, and you can leave with that car the same day if you want. Here in the province, it doesn't work like that. The Toyota dealership where I bought my car, they basically just have display. They have enough like on their showroom. They'll have maybe 8 cars, all the Toyota cars like the Wigo, the Tamaraw. The Tamarow's new now. Or whatever Toyota vehicles they have. They'll just have the display, and you gotta order it. It's not available for you to like drive home the day, and they gotta ship it. My car, my Toyota Wigo, came from Manila, and I had to pay like 25,000 pesos to ship it from Manila to the dealership here in Aklan province. And the same thing at the Suzuki dealership. It's not like a showroom where you can buy the car and leave it. They're basically just displaying the car so you can look at it, you can get in it, but you have to order. You have to order the car. That's why you don't see a lot of different fancy cars. Maybe in our community here, because the people in our community, we live in a gated community, they're a little well off. It's like, I do see like Ford Ranger, that Raptor car, or Fortuner. I've seen that. You see more SUVs here, big SUVs. They probably bought it like in Iloilo City. That's where a lot of car dealerships here. But once you come out of our subdivision, majority of the vehicles on the road, Kalibo, Numancia, I would say 75% to 80% of vehicles on the road are tricycles, jeepneys, and motorbikes. Cars is a minority. There's not, I would say the ratio is probably 1 car to 10 motorbikes. I mean, there's like tons of motorbikes here in Aklan province. You're absolutely right. Me too. I can't figure out how to slow down even while I'm traveling at my leisure. Yeah, I know that. I know Gray. I can attest to that. Gray, it's like Gray is like go 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 still, and and he's supposed to be retired, man. Gray, you're supposed to be retired, man. He can't sit still. He's like he's flying all over Southeast Asia right now. I can tell you a little secret that dazzle you if you're interested. All right, all right. Well, all right, man, HD. It reminded me like that I think one comment was like, it reminded them of like that My Favorite Martian. I used to watch that show when I was a kid because of the antenna. But I like it, man. I like that logo that you made. I like that Dazzle TV with the antenna. I love that, man. I like that how it looks like an old school television, with the antenna. I remember those antennas, right? Having an antenna on your TV, and remember wrapping foil on it, moving it around. Hey, move it around. I'm not getting a good, where our TVs used to be like black and white. How it would be like screening like that, and you're moving the antenna to get a better picture. Oh, do tell, HD. You are not Texan. Stop pretending. You are not Texan. Stop pretending. All right. All right. Olsen, Elsa Olsen. All right. Grayson, I'll wait for Ginno's response first. All right. Yeah, you can share. You can share HD. No, it's like, it's your design, man. It's like and it's a very nice design. Should be proud of it, man. Condolences to the family. Yes. Thank you, Fortune. 2D, all right. Shane, what's up, Shane? Good morning, afternoon, evening. Oh, sorry, doing cleanup after the storms yesterday and day before. Tons of rain. Lost, oh man, some of the pets on the farm here, but everyone is safe. Good, good. At least everyone is safe, man. I know, man, Shane, same thing here in our province, man. Same thing. I saw, I'm not going to show the pictures, but cows, because like by Aklan River, a lot of those farms, cows just graze. And I guess they didn't have enough time to like get them into safety, So I saw pictures of several cows that drowned because Aklan River just rises so fast. It's like a flash flood. So they weren't able to rescue some of the cows there. Animals, animals that graze around the Aklan River. Said there were cows and sort of things flowing through. Yeah, I know, man. I saw it, man. Like I said, you can Google it. You can. I'm sure there's pictures online. Yeah, you see cows floating on the river, and that's like nothing can save them. Nothing can save them because like that river is like gushing. It's like there's trees. There's like giant trees flowing on Aklan River, man. You don't want to get caught on that. And even on a calm day, there's a strong current. There's a strong current on Aklan River. Unfortunately, every year there's people that drown on Aklan River. Everyone's safe is good news to hear. Yes, yes. Everybody, that's always that's all we want. Everything's safe. I love the Asian. All right, gaming cars. Shane, HD. Yes, everyone was safe. Some houses flooded, basements, but my place took a hit. I'm in a lowland. Didn't get all the oh man, sorry to hear that, Shane. And that's the thing, there's in our province of Aklan, in Panay Island, not just Aklan. There's areas here that like always floods. Like I said, on the highway here, many areas here, it'll say like flood-prone area, watch for landslide, because that's the next thing that happens here when there's a lot of rain. It's all that mud starts sliding the hills, the mountains, and that's uncontrollable too. I mean, it'll take houses. Like the picture I showed you earlier, it took 4 houses in Antique, good sized houses. I mean, these aren't like tiny homes or these are cement homes with like metal roof, and this landslide will just take it. We'll just take it, destroy it. 4 houses got destroyed. You can always rebuild life and health. Yes, yes. And that's one thing, HD, that I would say, like I guess Filipinos, that's what they just keep doing. It's like, unfortunately, the Philippines, and same thing. I'm sure people in northern Luzon, they just keep rebuilding. I guess it's family land where they live. They can't leave it. Even though disaster, typhoons, floods happen one time after another, but they can't leave the area. Because it's where they grew up. They don't want to leave those areas. Yep. Lost my flock. Oh man, in one pen. Got my breeders and duck eggs layer. All on. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Shane. At least, like I said, you're safe, Shane. That's the main thing. Sorry for the loss. Yes. Are you doing any changes for a similar situation in the future? Eating, so we'll be busy for a bit. All right, JP, do your eating, man. Me, after this live stream, I'll probably go to the public market. because we need some eggs, we need some vegetables, and fruits, some fruits. And the public market, even when it's raining, it's like I can actually walk to the public market from here. It's about a kilometer away, but I'll drive my car. There shouldn't be that many people there because it's raining. I lost the chicken houses and pens are really damaged. This is a rental property. Lots to do repair. The damage to the house is small. I got a trailer for the breeders' chicks. Oh man, lot sorry to hear it. Sorry to hear it, Shane. Maybe be best. Yeah, yeah. That it might be best to like move to another piece of land. It's not a mole. It's a handsome. Thank you, Shane. Goody. Tough situation to do some preventive measures. I would think a new ideas and ask people, then list ideas to develop them further. With loss of egg layers, lost my weekly income, so not sure dang or whether it was 90. I know, right? 90, and then man, that's like a sudden in 14 hours. That's a big drop. What are you drinking in the bottle with red cap? Coconut water? No, this is just drinking water, man. It's called it's a new thing at 7-Eleven. It says pH 9 drinking water. I'm always trying different things, man. And I saw this at 7-Eleven. I said, hey, I'll try it. I actually, they did not have my Vita Coco at 7-Eleven. They ran out. I actually have to go to Calibo to buy. I'm out of stock because I had gotten sick. So I haven't been able to drive on like my normal drive to Calibo. And then with the rain, it's like Calibo can get tricky when you drive there because again, there's areas in Calibo that gets flooded, traffic. So I'm trying to just we're trying to survive here in the house until the weather gets better. JP, all right. The crew, see? Thordy. I'm on lower land, just uphill from a major river. My road always floods with just little rain, but this last storm got me good. Slide down 15 feet and houses. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, that's got to be hard. That's got to be hard, Shane. It's like I said, there's areas like that here in even in Calibo. I have friends that live in Calibo where their houses were built long ago, and they're always on flood watch. So it must not be a good feeling. Every time that the minute I see that water, like that Numancia Calibo Bridge. The minute that water nears the bridge level, and I have seen it reach the bridge level. I've seen water on the bridge. The minute it gets that high, I know there's flood in Calibo. I know there's areas in Calibo that's flooded. Because that my friend Tim understands this. That bridge in Calibo, Numancia Bridge, you actually coming off the bridge, you actually kind of go down to Calibo. So it's kind of like when you're on the bridge, at the end of it, when you enter Calibo, the street goes down a little. So if you can imagine the water hitting the bridge, there's areas that's going to be flooded in Calibo because Aklan River actually in Calibo meets the ocean. So what happens is when there's so much water going into the ocean, it backflows. That's why areas in Calibo get flooded. It's just not a good situation for Calibo when it's when the waters is they have markers on the bridge when it's like reaching to the top of the bridge and then rain. That combination scares a lot of people. You see on Facebook people evacuating things like that in Calibo. The bottom are all flooded in their basements. Oh man, that's gonna be a lot of work, Shane. Filipinos love reunions. Any reason to party and get together? I know, right? I've never seen so many reunions. Ati-atihan here in Calibo, actually, every year we have the 10-day festival in Calibo. It's called Ati-atihan Festival. It's really a big reunion. It's a reunion of like all the schools in Calibo, all the schools in Aklan province. They would have T-shirts like the different colleges, like SCI College. Everybody's wearing class of us. We're like 2016 or class of 2020. Everybody's got their groups. And then you have families here in Aklan province. Big clan. They call it like a clan. It's like they'll make their T-shirt. It's kind of the coolest thing that to see. It's like they'll wear like a black T-shirt, normally black, and they'll have on the back, they'll have the Santo Niño, of course, to pay respect to the festival. And then on the back, they'll have like a La Chica clan or a Tirol clan, families that like when they have a get together in Calibo, there's like hundreds. Sometimes they would like rent like a public school, and all the people with like the same last name will have a T-shirt, and then their clan, and they're like it's a reunion of everybody in the family. Filipinos got big families. It's like Dazzle's family, Castro is their last name. In Caticlan, there's a lot of Castro in Caticlan. Every time Dazzle and I go to Caticlan, to Boracay, we're always running into Dazzle's family, uncles, cousins, And here in the Philippines, first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, everybody's counted, everybody's related. It's like, oh, I'm related to you, I'm related to you. HD, I sometimes go through it to think of the best solution available to me. Sometimes you can think of novel ideas. Yep. I was going to move before this, but haven't found the land. This road is the only one to us, so have to talk to the city for help. Okay, all right, Shane. It's also a dirt road. It gets washed out on the good rain. Would be nice to concrete. Yeah, there's many like that here. Many in Aklan, Shane. It's like many dirt roads, and you see that. I actually see some posts of people like because of the rains, because of the landslide. It's like man, that's almost like hard. How do you manage that? Going to your house, or when it's like muddy on a motorbike. A lot of people are on motorbikes here. Up the hill for me is a field that I get my water wash from. I'm away from the road a bit, but had some good rain for 4 hours. Engineers have thought of the solution throughout history. It's just implementable, then is the reasonable manner. Yeah, that HD, that's what Gray was telling me. It's like he mentioned to me yesterday, don't they have Corps engineers in the Philippines? It's like, unfortunately, I haven't heard anything like that here. Maybe Corps engineers from other countries coming here, that would not surprise me, because I think the project by Nabas, because they always have landslide in Nabas, the road going to Boracay. And what they're doing something on the side of the mountain. They're like wrapping it with some. I've filmed it before, but I think that's a project by the Corps engineers, by a foreign company helping the Philippines. But it's the same like in Baguio, right? Right, HD, like in Baguio City. There's, going up Cannon Road or Marcos Highways, there's always big rocks falling. It's like that's been happening since I was a little kid. Going to Baguio was one of those things where you saw big rocks like on the road. You're like, wow, it's like, how did that big piece got on the road? And that's been happening in the 70s, and we're 2025 now. I just saw a picture the other day of like rock slides in Baguio up in the mountains. So maybe we just need better engineers here, maybe support from other nations. But like you said, HD, more likely it's resources. A lot of times that's the issue in the Philippines, is resources, money, funding for it to build something that would not cause flood, not cause landslides. And it doesn't help that they try to cut every tree out here now. It's not, you see hills here, mountains, it's like down there at Naba, same area where they have landslide. HD is like along the highway. You see them like, what are they doing with that mountain? They're like chopping the mountain, like you got these hills, mountains got no trees anymore. Like they're flattening it. They're it's just the weirdest thing. You would think, trees, keep as many trees possible, but it is what it is. It's not, they do have a Department of Environment people here, but it seems like resources always gets removed. Trees always get removed. Well, HD, the winds took down trees here, mostly wet ground. They fell. Oh man, embankment on the edge of the lake. Didn't expect that at all. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Shane. Man, you've had it rough, brother. Well, hope everything recovers, Shane. I know stay strong, brother. It's like build slowly. Don't try to overdo it. I know that's got to be added stress there, man. That's a great price for the project. We just got a door hung yesterday to convert our office into a bedroom. $950 just for that. Okay, another $200 to paint it. We can't wait to get the Pinoy discount. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't complain because I figure the each door costs less than $100. So 2 doors, brand new doors, installed and everything. And I'm sure he'll make it nice so where it's solid. And then a custom bunk bed for about $12,000, about $200 with storage. So I can't complain because he went to the house, measured the bunk bed, custom made, like make sure mom had enough room on the bottom and then Leanna on the top of the bunk bed. So Leanna's big enough now to where we're not worried about her. Like, she's 12 now. I mean, you've seen how big Leanna is now. So we're not worried about her sleeping on the top bunk. We just had the guy make sure the railings are high so, she doesn't roll over from the bed. Beat up your stamp collection. Beat up your stamp collection. Yeah, we're having fun. Dazzle and I actually yesterday when we were sorting out, we were looking at the different United States state flags. The flag of Arkansas, the flag of Arizona, and we were like going online and checking it. So it's fun. It's like another fun activity for Dazzle. That's one thing about Dazzle and I. It's like when we start doing anything new, we always do it together. It's like I think that's what makes our relationship work. We enjoy doing stuff together. Like we picked up pickleball when we were in Boracay. We love pickleball now. If they have a pickleball court in Calibo, which I did see one, but it's outdoor. So that's going to be tricky. Because like outdoor pickleball in the sun here. But hopefully they'll build one that's indoor because my friend in Iloilo City, he just sent me a video of a pickleball court in Iloilo City. Very nice. Indoor, got those gigantic fan. I guess they're called the big ASS fan. I guess that's what they're called. I thought a guy was like kidding when he said that on the live stream one time. But I guess it's a gigantic fan inside the pickleball courts, 4 pickleball courts. So hopefully they'll build one in Calibo like that. That would be a big hit here in Calibo. I was actually thinking of a place where there's actually a badminton court here, like a indoor badminton court. But I think pickleball is becoming more popular than badminton now. It's something new, something different than badminton. So I wouldn't be surprised if they switched that badminton court into like a pickleball court. I think they would do more business, because the last few times I went to that badminton court, there weren't many players playing in it. I think there's more interest now, it seems to me, with pickleball than badminton. Illinois and Lower Michigan by now. Vegasville, hey Vegasville, good morning, my friend. Hope that baby is not keeping you up at night. Hope everything's fine with the baby and all. Getting adjusted with having the new baby. I enjoy cooking tamales, menudo, tacos for people because, all right, JP, you're going to have to cook that for us. I'm going to have to learn it. I'll learn it when you cook it. We'll do the shopping together. I'll help you. I'll be your sous chef, JP. That way I can learn if you're willing. I always respect people with their recipe and all that. If you're willing to share, I'll trust, I'll guard your recipe. I will not share your recipe. I would love that. Tamales, menudo. I love those. I love the Mexican tamal, the Mexican menudo. I know all about that, man. It's like I've lived in San Antonio, Texas. I've lived in Tucson, Arizona. Even in Long Beach, California, we had a lot of Mexican food. So one of my favorite foods are Mexican food. Yep, I experienced walking in floods as a student. Yeah, I think we all have, right? Fortune is like, there's no getting around that. As a kid, you don't know any better when you're a kid. Everybody else is walking on the floodwater. Now I know that, man, that's worst thing you can do is walk on floodwater because you don't know what kind of diseases or kind of things that float in the water. But, back in the day, I was like, I was 10 to 11, 12 years old. I didn't know what, it's like, I'm just trying to get home, We lived in Makati in the early 80s. I went to school in Pasay, all right? I know where you're for elementary. And then in the late 80s in Taft Avenue for high school. I know Taft Avenue. Hey, that's where I got some of my stamps, in Taft Avenue. I remember my school was in Letron and Taft was in Far by jeepney ride. And my classmates and I would go to Taft Avenue. And they had a lot of bookstores back there back in the day. And they had a lot of people selling stamps at Taft Avenue. I know that area, man. We probably run into like the same area. Taft, España, Quiapo, I'm sure Intramuros, I'm sure you're familiar with all that area too. I went to Makati too, to Pasay, because some of my classmates live, instead of going to Quezon City, go the other way, go to Pasay. So what was that mall there? Harrison Plaza. Remember that mall? I used to go to that mall, Harrison Plaza. I remember our basketball team. We had the seniors and juniors basketball team for our school, Letran. Rizal, right? Rizal Memorial by Harrison Plaza. That was like in the 80s. That's where the games would be played from our school. We would ride a jeepney to Rizal Memorial, and it would be packed with like our whole school against the other school. And then after the game, we would walk to Harrison Plaza. All those places are probably gone now, HD, I bet. Fortune, I bet you all those are gone now. Hey, Daniel, ouch, almost. Hey, no worries, man. I'll keep the live stream going. I started earlier, Daniel, because I was down here waiting for whether to take Leanna to school. She has no school today. Classes have been suspended here in Aklan province. So, It was suspended yesterday. That's why I had to leave when Dazzle got the message like at 10 a.m. It was a message telling the parents to pick up their kids, and that's how it is here. And that's another different dynamic that you don't see often, like in the U.S. When I went to the U.S., when you're in public school, it's pretty. Here, the parents here are expected, like in public school anyway, in our province here in Aklan, parents are always expected to pick up their kids just like that. It's kind of like, what happens to parents that have work, that actually work in Calibo or something like that. With Dazzle and I, it's no problem. If we get a text message from the teacher, and so we're right there. We can, I can go on Bumblebee, not even 5-10 minutes. I'm at the school picking up Leanna. But a lot of times, like the advisor of the class, that's like the teacher assigned to Leanna's class. They get different teachers. There's mom coming down. She's probably gonna do laundry. Mom's probably, mom likes to do laundry. I don't know if you're gonna do. You're bored. You get bored upstairs. And make coffee, mom. Make coffee. So it's like I'm sorry, but my train of thought. Going out there when I talk to mom. I'll go back to it if I remember it. The last time I was around a bad storm was in Tennessee about 2 years ago. I was on the edge of a tornado. Oh, wow, Shane. And it sucked. Oh, man. Come on, Shane. You've had some rough things happen to you. It would be the same here, Shane. That's why, when you do come here, when it's your time to be in the Philippines, make sure you select a good place. Even here in Panay Island, there are areas where, we'll have to make sure you avoid, the things like that. Because even here in the province of Aklan, there's areas here that, stuff happens on those areas. It's like, I know when there's a road. I want to say it's by Altabas, close to the border between Aklan and Capiz. And we always, when we go through that road, when it's raining, it's always 50-50 whether it's passable or not. And same thing in Roa City. There's areas in Capiz where I know Dazzle knows the name of the town, but what happens is like people from Iloilo that travel to Calibo, to our province, Aklan, there's a section of the highway there where the water reaches the highway, where you can't pass it, and it happens every year. Every year, it's just, we just get so much rain that it happens. People get stranded. People get stranded on the highway. Big buses, vans, cars. You end up sleeping, like Fortune, he had to sleep in his car. You'd be in a bus traveling from Iloilo City, and the highway, there's water in the highway. There's no other route. There's no other detour. So the buses, they kind of just stack up. Some cars are able to turn around, go the other way, but some of them just park on the highway, and then you just wait out the water. And you have to, a lot of times you wait out the water 12 hours, 16 hours before the water recedes. Yeah, just some of those things that, in the Philippines, it's a normal occurrence. It's kind of like people, we expect it. We expect it. It's not like, because of the rains, when the rainy season comes, it's just the things that happens here. So we have to find a good spot. We have to find a good spot for Shane. Once the Panay posse get there, it may assist in getting Grab taxis in the area. It just, at one time, I know there's delivery. I know there's food delivery now I got to check with my friend that's in Calibo because he gets the food delivered to him all the time. I know they did start something like the food delivery, and I remember in the pandemic, of course, they had it. And then once the pandemic ended, it went away. And now they're starting again, like food delivery. But Grab taxi, there's never been. I have never seen Grab taxi here. Very few taxis actually I've seen. They have them, the yellow taxi, but I don't know where they are now. You know, at one time I would see at least maybe 15, 20 of them in Calibo, yellow taxis, but I don't see them now. I used to see them here in our community because people would take the taxi home here, but I don't see the I don't know what happened to those taxis. Bad weather seems to follow you, YouTube. Some of these things out of the norm happens. Yeah. Yep. No, I got scared of the weather in Tennessee, so I moved. But you can't control you can control Mother Nature. Hopefully, we'll find you a spot here in Panay Island, man, that you'll be away from, you're safer. There are safer, it's like, like I said, you just got to pick the area. James and Karen's new video is up. 13-minute mark of the video. You can see all the cows on the road. Oh, okay. I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it after the light. Thank you, HD. I know it's like they have rope on the cows here. They always do that anyway because they like to tie them. That way they don't run off. The cows don't run off. Because it's not the same here, like in the U.S. I remember I lived in Texas. I'm not from Texas, like the other person was saying. I'm not Texan. I am not Texan. I just said I lived in San Antonio, Texas, because I was stationed there. I didn't claim that I was a Texan. So, but in Texas, I remember people, the cattle ranches that I've saw in Texas, they have like a barbed wire. You keep your cows on your property. Here in the Philippines, the way to keep your cow in your property, they usually tie that rope, around the nose area. It's like, and they tie the cow to a tree. That's how they keep. Because a lot of land here, I noticed it's not the same. Like in the U.S., I said, like they have barbed wire to separate people's land. Here, it's like. A lot of people, it's just open. It's just, you could have a house. Somebody might have a fence. Some people do have that. Some people will build like a cement wall to keep their animals inside. But there's some places here where they just like let their animals roam around. Chickens. I mean, there's chickens running around here. Sometimes you see them. The boss rooster. He's just walking around in the front of our subdivision, and I have seen like goats sometimes, just like, where did this goat come from? Just walking around. It's like, I remember one time there was a person that would bring his goats here to inside the community. They don't allow him now, but at one time he would bring his goats here inside the community. I don't know how he got in, but now he doesn't. He was told not to do it. But he would let his goat graze here inside the community because we have areas where there's land, but there's no house yet. So there's a lot for the goats to eat. I thought that was kind of cool, I guess, because the goats just eating stuff. It's not like, but people always complain about stuff. So we don't have those. And it wasn't a lot of goats. It was like maybe 5-6 goats. Yeah, I'm sure people are like herding their animals, man, their cows, because cows aren't cheap. I can't imagine a cow cows are expensive. You don't see many of them in the province here, and beef is expensive here. I think they call them wind down burst. They take down trees like a bulldozer. Ooh. Wow. The logo design has some influence of the ambigram on it. When When drying the mug, you can still read Dazzle TV. Oh, that's right. I was also stuck on whether or not to add multiple hearts. Oh, all right, man. I got to look at it now. Oh, I see. I see. You got like, I see the Z kind of, the red and the Z is got like shaped like a heart. All right. But left it just one with the Z. I know, man. It really, that's what HD is saying. The Z is like a heart. It's shaped a heart, one heart. I like it. I like it, HD. That one heart. Like no, we have one heart together. It's like I like that, man. It some thinking to it. You put a lot of thought into it. A knob to the channel. Yeah, I remember those TV, man. And then I remember HD when the knob broke, you would have to use like a screwdriver, to like turn the knob on the TV. I think all the knobs eventually break. I don't think I don't think we had a TV with a knob that the knob didn't break. They always break. The knob always break, and then you always had to find like pliers or the long nose pliers that can still turn the channel. But again, the only thing is we only had 3 channels, so it's not like now you got like 100 channels, And they all went offline. Yeah, I remember that. Thank you for mentioning that, Daniel, about the 11 or how they had the national anthem here in the Philippines. I remember, and they would sign off. Brings back memories for sure, man. Thank you, Daniel, for that, because like it's good to have memories like that. It's good to have. For me, it's like I love remember. Life was more simple. I'm glad I grew up in the 70s because life was more simple. We only had 3 channels. We don't have video games. We don't have. I think it was an easier time for kids to grow up. I think now for kids, it's harder to grow up now as a kid. There's so many rules, so many things that you can't do. It's like when I was a kid, man, we were out in a, people that grew up in the 70s, probably 80s, the same, 60s, we were outside. It's like, the only time I came into the house, especially on summer vacation, was I knew when it started getting dark. I knew when it was sunset. Ooh, it's getting dark. I better get home, or I'm gonna get a whooping if I don't, if it's dark and I came home, And then we always came home dirty. You're sweaty. You're playing in the dirt. It's like. I remember my mom used to even tell us, if I come home because I've been riding my bike, I'm just, don't come in the house. There's a hose outside. Wash off with the hose. And I would like take a shower in a hose, in a garden hose, soap and everything, soaping myself before I came into the house because my mom didn't want me to take a shower in the house, come in the house all sweaty and dirty and everything. But that was fun, man. Yeah, I heard of them storms. They're heavy rains. I think you remember I joked about the brownout here. Yeah, you did. I remember you saying it, the brownout after that was the worst part of the storm. Downwinds, rain. Oh, wow. It's the same here. I've noticed, when we do, the very few times, like I said, we never really get hit with typhoons in Western Visayas. Very rare. We get a lot of rain. But when we did get the like Super Typhoon Yolanda in 2014, Super Typhoon Ursula 29, I remember them because it's like, it was scary, man, because like the winds is what makes it scary. Because those super typhoons, when they came those 2 years, man, peeking out the window here, there's like stuff flying in the air. We're talking like those corrugated metal roofs. debris just flying in the air, scary winds. So I know it's, if anything, the ones that damage the typhoons, if I can imagine those same winds, when I look at the Pag-asa report and I see there, you know, 100-kilometer winds, I already know because I've experienced that one time here twice. 2014, 2019. So I can compare it in my head. When I see a certain number, when it gets over like 80 kph, I know that's like scary time because and if you're like in those provinces when those winds are coming, I know a lot of it's scary because like in the Philippines, there's still so many homes here that are built like light material, bamboo, nipa hut. I know in the province, what they start doing, they start tying down their house to like the ground to hold it, So I can imagine living in that, living through that, that's why, typhoons here, scary times, scary times. Ambigrams retain meaning even when changing the perspective. So how the becomes a D. All right. Oh, I see that. The dazzle, if it's a L, like, but when it becomes a D. All right, because when you hang the cup like that, pretty cool, pretty cool. HT, thank you for sharing that. Now I have to read up on ambigrams because that's a new term for me. HT, I've never heard of an ambigram. I like this learning thing here. I'm always like amazed and like yesterday about the stamps that Gray told me. Gray mentioned I should check into the history of the stamp, and it's amazing. Because stamps in the U.S. they would not create a stamp if it's not a special event. Usually it's in conjunction with a special event, special person, special animal. So when you do the research on a particular stamp, you find very interesting things. Like even how people think. Back in the day, 100 years ago, how they think, different thinking now. On some of the stamps, I even noticed like I know you can't say anymore, but back then it was just normal, Kids was the remote for the folks and sometimes had to smack the side of, yeah, it's like, you remember smacking it on the side. I don't know if that really helped, Daniel, Oh no, I'm sorry, Shane. I don't know if that really worked, Shane. Where you smack it, even the antenna with the foil, kind of moving around, or tell your kid like, yeah, hold that antenna up like that. Then trying to get the best picture. I didn't want to make the dazzle obvious when turned upside down, so I left some of the letters a bit vague. You can read it. I can read it though, man. I can read it, man. It's like you can read Dazzle TV. It really, for me, it shows. It shows HD. Hey Ray, my good friend in Sacramento. Hey, Sacramento, California, Ray. Hello, my good brother. 2D. Shane, thanks, Gina. You should be fine. I've seen worse. Okay, all right, brother. Yes, God will look over us. Yes, my brother. Yeah, you're still blessed, man. Like, you didn't get hurt. That's the main thing, like HD saying, everything replaceable, It was just your internet cut. Sometimes it happens. Oh, no worries. No worries. All right. Thanks, HD. Oh, what happened, Kuya? Storms and flooding? Yeah. Right now, the started yesterday and today. There's like, it's not, there's a tropical storm in Luzon, northern Luzon. Tropical storm Crising, Crising. But here, we're not affected by that tropical storm. We're in Western Visayas. the rains that are coming here are from Habagat, monsoon. And the thing about monsoon rain, it's the same monsoon rain like I experienced when I was in Tucson, Arizona. Monsoon rain, when it rains, man. It's a lot of rain. I mean, when it will pass. I mean, it doesn't rain all day. It's not a constant rain. Like right now, it stopped again. But what with monsoon rain, with Habagat, when it rains, it will rain straight for like 1 hour. And it's a downpour. I mean, if I was driving and it's a monsoon rain here, I could hit the windshield wipers a full blast and I could still hardly see. It's that thick a rain. So it's immense amount of rain during Habagat here. That's why Aklan province, we have this Aklan River, massive river that goes through like Calibo, Lezo, Banga. I mean, just several towns. This massive river here in Aklan province. And yesterday at around 10 a.m., it rose about 20 feet, because somewhere above us in the mountains, there must have been heavy rainfall. So all that water comes through the different towns and ends up in Calibo, unfortunately, because Calibo, where Aklan River, it ends in Calibo. It meets the ocean. Is where just all this massive amount of water on the river. And I'm watching videos of the river right now. I mean, there's massive debris. I mean, there's like big giant trees floating. And like, unfortunately, like animals, like cows, things like that you see. But very wide river. Usually the rivers maybe 5-6 feet, but now it's like almost touching the bridge, which is like at least 30 feet. So it's people get nervous. People are always watching the Calibo Numancia Bridge here in Aklan, because the minute that water starts nearing the top of the bridge, areas in Calibo, there's certain areas in Calibo that will be flooded already. Years ago, Ginno. Oh, right there. All right there. 2D. Funny to think that first remotes, TV and VCR, had a long cord attached to your remote. I don't remember that, man. I don't remember it, Daniel. I guess because we didn't really. I remember having the Betamax. That was the first device that came, Betamax tape, and then it went from Betamax to like VHS. I do remember that, but I don't remember the remote on it. I always thought that it was I never saw a TV remote or a VCR remote that were attached. That'd be pretty cool to see. I'll have to Google it now. I'll have to find something online to see what that looks like. That would have been kind of funny, man. That's kind of funny how it's got like a long cord on it, Years ago, Ginno, the major highway north and south of that river took out a bridge that was 15 feet higher than normal. Yeah, well, actually, I did saw a bridge in Madalag, Aklan, part of Aklan River, and it's not a big bridge like not a big bridge like the Numancia Calibo Bridge, and I'm nervous about that bridge, man, because it looked like the river might take it, and that's happened before. The smaller bridges, because Numancia and Calibo Bridge, that's the big bridge. But there's other small bridges that people built along the river for easy access to their community to cross the river. Usually, I've seen bridges here where only people can go through or motorbikes can go through. But those get easily washed here. And that's a big deal for those small communities. If they lose that, they got to across the river. So that happens here. That happens here too, Shane. It happens where small bridges get taken by Aklan River here. Not in my parents' house. It was my 2 feet. It was your 2 feet. That's funny, Shane. Yeah, I don't think we ever got a remote either. Thinking about it now, it's like it was always change the channel. Ginno, change the channel. It's always like, you were that remote. It's like you're the one changing the volume, the knob for the volume, and the dial for the channel. I have a connection with the La Chica clan. All right. I had a classmate, La Chica, that was La Chica, Angela. There's a few, I see La Chica. La Chica is like a popular clan in Calibo. Cool, HD. The tourists to Boracay prefer Caticlan. When my wife and I went to Boracay, that time only propeller. Yeah, only propeller landed in. So, yeah. That's why when the jets, when they extended the runway in Caticlan, that's when, they start landing the big jets, the jets can land. So that pretty much killed Calibo Airport. It's like Calibo Airport now is a ghost town, and it's such a waste, because like I remember using Calibo Airport for so many years, and it was just a tiny terminal, and they finally built it up to where it was a nice terminal, automatic luggage, the duty free on the second floor, Seattle. Like I said, it's like the terminal now in Calibo is amazing, beautiful airport. There's even like restaurants, hotels right at the parking lot now, but now nobody uses it. It's like very few flights coming through Calibo now. We don't even see in Calibo. We used to see like bus loads of like Korean tourists, Chinese tourists, different types of tourists. Bus loads of them. But now everything's going through Caticlan. The bus ride, yes, the bus ride from Calibo to Caticlan. Yeah, everybody flies, very few flights. The only disadvantage though, I was mentioning this to Dazzle, the only disadvantage of all the flights moving to Caticlan, I guess it's not a disadvantage to the airlines, but the prices increased. Before, if you're flying from Calibo to Manila, there was flights for like 1,000 pesos, maybe 2,000 pesos was the biggest. Now if you have to fly from Caticlan to Manila, it's more than twice that. And the flights to Caticlan to Manila or Caticlan to Angeles City, they're like 4,000, 5,000. So airlines are smart. They know how to get you, but it's made traveling, for Aklan people, the people in Aklan. Now, if we have to fly, we have to go to Caticlan, and they charge more. They charge more for us to fly anywhere. Stefan Kelly, what's up? Hey, what's up, Stefan? All right, hey man, glad you could join the live stream. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I'm doing good. No school for Leanna today, so relaxed day today. Raining off and on here. There, might be flooding in some areas, so we're just gonna chill all day here. It's like after this live stream, I'll do my yoga and then just relax the whole day. Another chill day here. I see in the videos in PH, even the mountain roads, I can't believe the people ride motorbike up them roads. Not just motorbikes, Shane. You see like tricycles, up the mountain roads here, tricycles with the sidecar, full of stuff, full of, like people, cargo on top of the tricycle, one motorbike, people behind the driver, climbing up like mountain roads here. It amazes me, man. It amazes me. I was looking at Calibo flights recently, and Philippine Airlines stopped their service. Yep, they did back in March. March of this year, no Philippine Airlines no longer flies to Calibo. It's only Asiana. Yeah, not make. That's what I'm saying, man. Like if you go to Calibo, man, it's a ghost town. That airport's a ghost town. I have picking up my friend there, Ruben, to take him to his apartment in Calibo. We're like in the parking lot and there's nobody there, and there's like one flight coming in that night. It's like to me it's like I just don't know how how they how that happened, because I remember them investing so much money on that airport. It's a shame how beautiful inside. One of the nicest airports I've been here, smaller airports in the Philippines, one of the nicer ones inside, and now it's hardly being used. They did add a flight the other day, I think, I forgot Tiger something, but it's a Taiwan to Calibo flight. But I don't know how long that's gonna last, because like, I don't know many people flying from Calibo to Taiwan, but who knows, I mean, they would have done the numbers, I'm sure, before. But so many, not just Philippine Airlines before that, so many airlines pulled out of Calibo. Like, and Scoot Airlines from Singapore don't fly there no more. Most of the China flights don't fly there. Most of the Korea flights don't fly to Calibo anymore. Everybody flies to Caticlan now. So I'm sure it's got a rolling effect on the economy in Calibo, because the airport, that used to be a busy place. The hotels around the airport don't get as many visitors. The restaurants, even New Washington, where the seawall, the business there are affected, because before, when the Koreans and Chinese landed in Calibo before, they would be a big bus, 40, 50 passenger bus. They would take that bus to New Washington, Aklan, to the seawall, it's the seafood place in Aklan, and they would eat lunch, they would eat dinner. That whole seawall area used to be busy with tourists. Now you don't see it, so it's a shame to see that, just to see business, I know there's restaurants there. There's restaurants by the airport, that had to close. Korean restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Filipino restaurants had to close. We used to go there. That's when I used to go there. We've gone to like the Korean restaurant by the airport. It's closed now. Oh, you're in. Mom's eating. Mom's eating. I'll just I'll eat later for lunch. I had a bread earlier, Mom. They need to add a retaining wall based on the damage already done. Trees help mitigate soil erosion. But sometimes you can't do much when the land becomes saturated. Yeah, good. I think they did that in Nabas. They have a wall. I have seen the wall they built around that. So maybe that's helping to hold that mountain down. Because since I've been here in Aklan HD, almost, I wouldn't say every year, but I would say every other year, that same mountain there, hill or whatever in Nabas, it always landslides. And it always, like, that's the only road going to Caticlan from Calibo. So when it landslides, it would be closed for a week. So you would have to take an alternative route through Antique to get to Caticlan, Antique, and then Buruanga, back way of Aklan, and then come down to Caticlan. Adds another hour to the trip so if you're coming from Calibo, which takes about an hour and a half to go to Caticlan, if you have to go to Antique, to Buruanga, it'll take you like another hour at when the landslide, and it happens. I don't think it happened last. I don't remember a landslide last year in Nabas, but I know it'll happen again. Maybe they've done a good job now with the wall that they built. They have this thing. I filmed it one time, HD, where it's like a netting, and they were like planting these metal rods inside the rock. It looks like a netting to hold down, but like you said, when it's like oversaturated, there's only so much you can do. The other side of the road here got a landslide, but my thing is, why did these people build here? Not a landslide, but just some dirt moved. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a lot of times that's what happens here too, Shane. It's people build, without thinking, like in the future, if is it a flood prone area? Is it a landslide area? It's like because it's not like I said, it's not like in the US where you can go to like the town or municipality and get like a flood map or information like that most municipalities, most towns can provide you. Floodplain, I just don't hear that here. I don't hear here. You find out that it's a flood area when it floods. That's when you find out. Unfortunately, and if you built already, it's like you're there already. Just recently, yes, fortune. Yeah, very few flights come through Calibo International now. Like I said, I picked up Ruben there a couple of times at Calibo International, and it's been a ghost airport there. When I joke about the brownout, I just thought I was over, but I'll be good on my side. All the trees are going tomorrow. 6 trees, not my trees. It's already good firewood. 2D. All right. That's the question to ask your city planner. City planners take multiple things into account. Zoning. Yeah, that's probably what's lacking in the province, HD. Like city planners in the US, here, if anything, I see that all the time, especially in Boracay, the way construction, the way buildings get built in Boracay, one on top of the other, I know there wasn't much planning. It's like Boracay is kind of like, because the property and the land in Boracay is so expensive. So even like a tiny piece of land, 50 square meters, people like build up. You can have like a lot like the size of our living room here, and they'll still buy it. And then when they build on it, they build going up. It's like because there's no rules. There's no rules to building here in the province. That's another thing. It's not like you have a committee or you have law that says you can't build doing this or you can't build doing this. I mean, in the province, this, HD, if you own the land, you can build anything in it. You want to build a swimming pool, you want to build you want to build a building in your land. I mean, it's up to you. There's no inspector. There's no. You might need a permit for some things, but usually a permit here is just paying somebody the cost. Like the town just wants to get a little bit of money. It's not big money. A lot of times. Require at least a master's degree. Yes. HE, if you ever seen Coin Hunter Land in Arkansas, it's a place newer, I think, for a fan. But they are built on flats, golf course on small hills. Can you rent a car near? Yes. No problem, Edgar. You can rent a car here very cheap, actually. My friend Kim from Romblon, every time he's here in Calibo, $20 a day for a rental. He always rents like a small SUV when he's here. Many rental. It's not like your Avis or Hertz rent a car, but it's usually like looks like a small like a used car dealership, maybe like 6-8 cars, but they'll rent it out to you, especially to foreigners, because all they'll do is they'll ask a copy of your any ID, driver's license or a passport. It's easy to rent in the Philippines if you're a foreigner, because a lot of times they'll want a picture of your passport, and you're not gonna mess that up, right? You're not gonna like do something to their car, damage their car or whatever, because if they got your passport, they can report you to the Bureau of Immigration. So it won't bode well, you know. So, and they know that. They know that. That's why they're so relaxed to rent vehicles to foreigners here. But I haven't found, you know, people are asking motorbike. I haven't found a motorbike rental here in Calibo, just a car. In Iloilo City, plenty. If you want motorbike, you want car, plenty in Iloilo City. But in Calibo, so far, only cars. Sedans, SUVs, a van you can rent in Calibo. But I have not found anybody renting a motorbike in Calibo. Yeah, Jen, I asked you about the weather, like earthquake times. I'm done with Jen. You gotta get used to brownouts. Yeah. Well, you know, it's like you're getting experience there, you know. So, you know, when you come here, Shane, it'll be nothing new to you. In Genoa, Nevada, the heart of our home, there are many beautiful houses and large ranches. You can see lots of cows and farm animals roaming freely. But of course, they don't hop over the fences. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see them like here. It's not, you know, like I said, I don't see the same dynamic that I saw when I lived in Texas, where most of the cattle, you can tell they have like barbed wire. You can tell they're like certain area where they're controlled in one area. Here, you know, it's like they tie them. You know, the cows, they got a rope around them. I would write a list of questions to ask the city planner. My knowledge is a bit limited on this area of city building. I have some road design, traffic. Oh, cool. Every time we visit South Lake Tahoe, California, where my husband is from, I love driving through Virginia City. We always see wild horses. Oh man, I have not seen any wild horses here in Aklan Province, here on Panay Island. Actually, I haven't seen many horses, period, you know. Which is a shame, you know, it's such a shame. You would think, you know, so much land area here. I can't even remember the last time I saw a horse. Lawn darts help us learn about common sense. Lawn darts. All right, all right, JP. Talking cows, I know 2 places here have cows on the other side. When I woke up yesterday, I looked out, horse in the driveway, but the owner was moving them up the road. Yeah, I have not seen horses in. I have not seen horses in. I'm trying to think in the whole Panay Island. I have not seen horses here. I had one. Them games have always dead unsafe, but thought about what happened. What happened if? Yeah, I think we had all those games, right? That we never. I knew, you know, when I was a kid, I wasn't worried whether I was gonna get hurt or not. We were fearless, man. We were fearless. I rode skateboards all my life. You know, I've always been a skateboard rider. I still have a skateboard now. You know, I have a longboard. Coins are the same way. 95 of my coin collection is in my move to PH. All right, Daniel. All right, cool. I've never collected coin, but that would be cool too. That would be cool because they have a lot of history. like I said before, I'm a history buff. That's why probably I like stamps, because I like the history of stamps. Hello, Gino, mods, and chat. Oh, Mom Janet. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining the live stream. Invested 40 million pesos on the Calibo or to become like that. They did that. I know, HD. That's why I remember for so many years, starting 2011, I was using Calibo Airport. And for like 10 years, like the 2021, it wasn't the nicest airport. You know, it was like a lot of times they had big fans. You know, AC wasn't working in the airport. You know, it wasn't automated. You know, it didn't look like a real airport. So finally they invested all that money, make it into a modern airport, and they hardly use it now. So it's a shame. It's a shame. Right up the mountain with stuff. James fell once in a video. Geez, yeah, our road is like that one. Yeah, you know, muddy roads, here. When I used to mountain bike, even in Boracay, in Buruanga, I used to mountain bike a lot, and there would be dirt roads. And when it rains, you know, it gets really muddy. Yeah, I've gone down a few roads like that on my mountain bike. Hey, all right. Good day, Janet. Great to see everyone here today. All right, Olson. OB. All right, everybody. That's good. Everybody's just saying hello. We got the Chilean bass. Ooh, Chilean bass. Nice fish. Seafood boil. I can see why it's smart to rent first. You can try out the area and make sure it doesn't flood as bad. No place is perfect. I pray for patience. Yes. Patience, Olson. You know, I think I was gonna mention that was one of the things. I'm running over. I'm over the time now, but I'm gonna try to close it out. But I had one topic that I wanted to discuss. Was like to rent first. You know, not be such in a hurry to buy or purchase. You know, to buy a house or build a house. I mean, it's a good investment. Don't get me wrong. I bought a house. You know, I have a house here, and to me, we got lucky. We got lucky with our subdivision because this house we live in, it's 88 square meter. Is the property. We have a nice yard. You know, it's like it's enough space for us to live in, and we paid 1.5 million for this house. So about $27,000 is how much we paid for this house. It's in a gated community. We feel safe here. There's security. There's a lot of rules, which I like. I like the rules because it's like it keeps everybody in line. You know, we segregate our trash, plastic, paper. You know, I like that. I like order. Nobody can burn their trash here because that's very common. If you're in the province, people still burn trash here. They're not supposed to, but that happens. But in a community like this, gated community, we have a lot of rules like that, and which I like. You know, to me, you know, burning trash, you know, it's not pretty, or it smells. There's toxins, you know. So I like that there's order here. You know, I like that we don't have stray dogs. You've seen me walk. I can walk right now. There's not a single stray dog inside our community. So we don't have poop everywhere. The people that have dogs like me, we pick up our poop. We have poopy bags. You know, I like that discipline. When you live outside a gated community, it's kind of like a free-for-all. You know, it's like you can't really tell somebody, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Hey, you're supposed to pick up your dog's poop. You know, it doesn't happen. You know, I like the discipline. And for us, we just lucked out because we bought this house in 2015. So going on 10 years now. 15-year loan. My down payment was $5,000, and our monthly mortgage is about $200 less, even depending on the exchange rate. So I thought it's a good deal, and to me, it's like in 5 years it'll be our own. You know, because for me, the way I looked at it, I was renting a 2-bedroom apartment in Calibo. So I went from renting that 2-bedroom for 7,000 a month to moving here, and my monthly payment was 10,500 pesos. So only 3,500. So I was thinking, that's all, living here almost felt like just renting, because we had to live somewhere anyway. And if we had moved to Boracay, we would have paid rent, probably more than our mortgage here. So it just worked out, that for us. And plus, I knew by the time I purchased this house, I've been in Aklan province. We bought this house in 2015. I've been in Aklan province 4 years already. I already knew I wasn't going to leave Aklan province. I already knew that this was my home, my new home, the Philippines, Aklan province. I'm not from this province, but when we bought the house, I knew Dazzle and I we bought it our senior year. We were planning on getting married. When we moved in the following year, 2016, that we got married April, we moved here in August. So I wanted to plant something here, roots and everything. And then also because I'm older than Dazzle, I knew it'd be nice for her when I'm gone someday to have her own house paid off, no mortgage, no a title of a house on her name. And that's why I added the land in Katiklan too. So she's got property now that she'll own, once my time comes, that when I'm gone. But it doesn't always happen like that, that's why I said, good to at least a year, especially for the people like my friend in Iloilo City. They lived in a condo for 1 year. They're both military retired. One Air Force retired, one U.S. Navy retired. So they make good income. So income's not a problem for them. They both have pensions. They have 2 kids, one going to high school, one going to college. So they tried Iloilo City for a year in a condo. They liked it. They like living in Iloilo City. They like the community. They like the kids love their schools. So now this month they're moving into a house. They just posted a picture of their house. They're doing yard work. Now they have a yard. They have a nice house in one of the gated subdivision in Iloilo. For me, it makes sense for them to purchase a house because they're Filipino American. Their kids are happy here. They got family in Iloilo City. So they tried it for a year. So everything's going well, So then they purchase a house. To me, that's always been my advice, always learn the area first, learn the community, see if you like it. If for a year, Brian did the same thing. He lived for a year in Calibo before he purchased his house in Lezo. I think it's just preventive, just to help you, instead of, I've seen people here that, I know a guy, I'm not gonna say names or nothing like that, but he built a home in one of the areas here in Luzon. Beautiful home, swimming pool, solar panels, whole house is in solar, had a nice truck, his land acreage. He's got nice view of rice fields, mountains from his house. His house looked like a resort. He started building in 2021, 2022, and so he finished building it 2024, and now he's back in Texas. Now he sold the house. To me, it's life happens, I understand, life happens, but for me, something like that, that's why for you to put that effort building something, and it costs a lot of money. I mean, I'm sure it's not a struggle for him financially anyway, so that's the only good side. But still, to all of a sudden give that up and you're back in Texas now, stuff happens, I understand. But, that's why I think, you got to think that through, that process of building or buying before you jump, Now, people that have Filipina, wives, or they got kids that they want to plant roots in an area, I'm all for that, man. Why not? If you're close to the Filipinas family and you love the Filipinas family, you love your kids being around the Filipinas family, go for it. Why not? But don't just my thing is just don't rush into it. Just don't rush into it. Be patient. Be patient, Olson. Pray for patience, Olson. May have to rent a car for a week. SNR. Yeah, no worries, man. You can do that, Daniel. That's easy. I'll help you with that. Obi, where are you located currently? Columbia, South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina. Mom Janet. You're stealing my idea. You're stealing my ideas. Are you using? Really, Chicago, notorious for permit up front. Payola. Hi. Oh yeah. There's places like that here, Mom Janet. Like Boracay is known for you have to pay up a lot of permits. Like if you want to start a business in Boracay, you're gonna pay up the payola in permits. Michael C, my good friend, Interese Martires. What's up? What's up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, brother. It's a beautiful day. It's the weekend. Yeah, it is. And we get an early start. Leanna's getting an early start because she got sent home from school. They suspended school yesterday, and then today school is still suspended. So she's just staying. We're just staying home today. We plan on moving to the PI next year. So excited to meet Ginno. LOL and learn from the. I don't know about the master, man. I don't know from the master. I'll guide. I'm a guide. I'll help, man. But I'm not a master, man. I'm a master of none. Chinese controlled sushi business. All right. Hey, Janet, you got any that storm last night? Great minds think alike. We connect. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. JP, hey, Janet. All right. No, just a temporary rain, but no damage. I'm lakefront here. Okay. Oh, nice. Lakefront. Lakefront, Mom Janet. Nice. Good view of the lake. 12. Ooh, man. You've been through a lot, Mom Janet. Man. Near the Dells. 2D, thank you thinking of me. Appreciate it. Yeah. Praying for you, Mom Janet. Praying for you. Yeah, it's like that's all we can do, man. All we can do, Mom Janet, is like keep smiling, keep being positive, keep being positive. That's why earlier I mentioned that. It's like when I started the live stream, I mentioned people that I know that going through medical conditions, going through hardships in life, lost loved ones. It's like we just gotta keep pushing. Keep thinking positive. It's like always think of the good. Instead of I was talking to a friend. And I was giving him advice, and I was telling him, it's like we all go through like stuff in our lifetime. We always go through. None of us comes out of this easy or goes through life easy. We all have hardships. It's just how we deal with it, and then how we push through, how we keep looking forward, still having that grateful feeling, having that grateful feeling. Like me, I don't lose it. It's like, I think, that's one thing I gained from my cancer recovery. It's like every day's a blessing now. Every day, to me, every day is a bonus now. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, you see me hard charging. You see me say, good morning, magandang umaga, mayating agaon. Because I'm excited for each day, and to me that's a blessing in itself. It's like to wake up. When Dazzle wakes up, when Leanna wakes up. It's like just having them. It's like it's an amazing life. My friend Lawrence told me last night. He told me you're blessed, and I feel it. I feel it every day. I feel that I am blessed. Ray, all right, Ray, have you been to Suffles? It's new in Rojas City. Ooh, wow, so bowling. I love bowling, man. I used to be in a bowling league when I was in the military, man. There's actually a bowling alley now in Calibo that they refurbish. We will. Dazzle and I will be going bowling and make some a video of it, and we will look up. We will look up shuffles for sure. Thank you, Ray. I'm a bowler, man. Like I said, I used to be in a bowling league, man. I had a pretty good, decent average too. It won 200, but I was like a 180 bowler, man. I have my own shoes before, my own ball. You know, it's like we got a bit of everything here. All right. What do Asians? We both like to walk to walk our dogs. That's funny. To the South Hyde Park, Lincoln areas, right? Diverse. Okay. Magic legs. Did they make bionic legs? Yeah, I hear some people get like knee, like bionic knee and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm more smiling. At times crack me up, said I. Always say, Duty, I can't, I had triple bypass. My heart remains 75. Damn it. Oh, man, I'm aging. Father time is slowly. Yeah, you know, it's like praying for you, Mom Janet. I'm happy you're still in good spirits with all the stuff you go through. I'm happy to hear. You know, you're still a positive force. You know that is my surgeon who prayed that. Yeah, at least you get, like you said, you have good doctors. That's good. That's good. I don't understand, but they're funny. Oh, Janet, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. I can always relate to people, you know, going through medical issues now because when I went through my uh, suffering, you know, when I went through that, man, you know, it's like you really start appreciating just health, just being healthy. You know, you just you know, I've always been healthy all my life. You know, I've always been a runner, but when that got taken away from me, you know, it's like you know, now I don't take, you know, each day I don't take anything for granted. You know, it's like familiar with the whole of Manila. Tudi, I was raised to see the upside in bad time. Yeah, see, I was raised the same way, Mom Janet. I think, you know, my mom did a good job raising me that way, where always looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. My whole life, I've always been like that. And I've had, you know, we've had hardships in our lives, like I said, you know, it's not like, you know, like everybody else. Everybody's had hardships in life, but always look at the positive. Ginno, I know that guy that went back to Texas and sold his property. He has 2 babies now and decided to go back to Texas. Doesn't make, but yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm, you know, that's good that you know, it's like I said, I don't want to mention names or anything, but, you know, like everybody's have a different journey in life, but to me, that was like surprising, you know, surprising. You know, I'm never gonna tell another man how to, you know, handle family, how handle his own business. You know, we all have our own path. You know, so but that surprised me. That surprised me when that happened, that he went back to Texas. Harrison Plaza is no more. I did kind of have an idea that Harrison Plaza was no more. SM bought the whole complex, building a new bigger mall. Did you know that Harrison Plaza is an old cemetery? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Thank you for the history, man. That I did not know that. All I knew about Harrison Plaza, we, you know, after the Rizal Memorial, the basketball games, you know, we would always like hit Harrison Plaza, hang around a little bit, then catch our jeepney ride home. Okay, I better stop the live stream. I'm gonna try to go through here because man, I didn't realize I'm going through like 3 hours now here. That's like the longest I've ever gone on a live stream here. So let me try to finish. Let me try to finish this comment. You look good, face clear and youthful. Oh, thank you, Mom Janet. Thank you. That's good to hear. Day to day, hit with my more broke the right. Got implant now. Got implant. Now I have twins. Now I have twins. All right. So you got implants on your legs, Shane. All right. Yes, you are Letran Squire. Letran. Yeah, Letran Squire was a junior team. Then Letran Knights were like the senior team. NCAA 70s. Was the time the Ateneo and LaSalle were still NCAA. Yeah, I remember. I used to be a chess player for my school when I was in elementary school. Fortune, so I played chess for Letran. I was board number 1 or board number 2 usually. And I used to play Ateneo. I used to play LaSalle. I used to go to the college in LaSalle, near our school, not very far. I used to remember I played 2 events in elementary. They had me playing chess. I played chess since I was 5, so I was always a good chess player. And then when I remember that game of the Generals when that came, I guess because I was a good chess player, they just put me in a game of the General. That was a fun game. You know, it had like a private, a different ranks in the middle, the spy, you know, then you had your flag of the Philippines, and then there's an arbiter that like when you take somebody's piece, the arbiter just, you know, looks and who gets taken. I like strategy games. That's why chess, game of the generals, anything strategy I like. LaSalle moved to the UAP in 1986 after the melee. Yeah, that's after my time. You know, it's like I just remember LaSalle. I remember we played LaSalle. I played them in chess. LaSalle, Ateneo, Sambeda, Trinity. You know, those were the schools that I remember playing chess against when I played for Letran College. 2D. Janet, after 8 kids, not getting twins. But now, hey, Stevie, stay Stevie. Thank you for joining the live stream, Stevie. I'll message you after the live stream, Stevie. I know you're busy with your job in Washington State, but I'll message you, brother. Try to start my day listing. All right. No, they are open wrap with Velcro, so I must wear 24 and pull them down during sleep. Okay. That's a good idea. I'm so thankful to have another heart. At times, I just cry. Oh, that's good. That's good, Mama Janet. Thank you. That's good. Good to hear. To feel blessed is our work today and make the best of it. Yes. Man, every day that you wake up, Shane, is a blessed day, right? You know, it's like, to me, you know, anytime I wake up, I look at the sunrise, I'm blessed, brother. You know, it's like nothing's guaranteed in this world, man. Yes, Ginno. And when you look at on the positive, the cup runneth over. Amen, Mom Janet. 2D, my order each day, God, me, devotion, family. Yes, all right. I love it. I love hearing that. Okay, I have to go. There are 3 cars in the driveway. All right. God bless. All right, God bless, 2D. Set the record for another. No, I'm good, man. This is gonna be a record. I've never had a live stream this long. I'm trying to get through the bottom of the comments. We have all right. Looks like that it. We have to play chess. All right, man. I still play, you know, once in a while. I go online, you know. Hard for me to find players. There's at Calibo at the Pastrana Park. They have those cement. They paint the tiles there, and there are chess players there that use the clock. You know, no biggie, no biggie. HD would love. I love chess. You know, it's like I lost a little bit of it when I went to the U.S. because um, it was just like one of those things where when I went to the U.S., like I said on previous live streams, you know, I was a shy kid. I was quiet because you know I was trying to adjust to America. You know, it's like I didn't understand half of the stuff going on. You know, so I didn't want to attract any attention to myself. So I think that's why I didn't play chess anymore. You know, then I got to play chess when I joined the military because the military encouraged like doing things like that. So how are you able to join the U.S. military? Can Filipinos join and get? No, Ram. For me, the reason I was able to join the military, I had a green card when I went to the United States. My mom married an American, and I was a minor, so I got a green card from that. And then once I got my green card, when I graduated high school, I was 16 when I graduated high school at Long Beach Wilson High. Then 17, I turned like a few months later, I turned 17. I joined the military on a green card. They let me join the U.S. military as a green card holder and promised me citizenship if I joined the military. And it happened. You know, I served in the United States Air Force for 20 years, but after being in for like 2.5 years in the United States Air Force, I was sworn in as an American citizen. So I know that I think that's still a pathway now. If you want to become a U.S. citizen in the U.S., volunteer in the military. If you volunteer in the military, if you have a green card, the military will take you. And in a few years, you'll be a citizen if you join the military. I think that's still a pathway to citizenship. I play chess as well, moderately. All right. I got some chess players here too. I'm a better tennis player. LOL, pickleball next. Doctors say I may be able to. All right. He said he was going back to Texas for better school, because there's a lot. Yeah. No, the Vegas. All right. Yeah, like I said, though, I'm not gonna question him. Everybody's got a different path, man. It's like, you know, it's like, when it comes to a person's decision, their family, and all that, I'm not gonna, talk about it. The only thing is like that's what I say. If you're gonna buy or build, make sure that you're gonna be here. Make sure that because it's not easy to sell. That's the main thing I want to point out. It's not easy to sell in the Philippines, especially if you build something massive. Because not many people can afford like a mansion here. Not many people can afford a mansion here. They just had news that Hispanic, they was person of war and died alone here and gave him his honors. All right, Vegas. Hey, all right. Baby, 1 month. Congratulations, Vegas Will. 1 month. Love, you don't judge and you don't inject. No, I don't, Mom Janet, because I respect other people. People do different things. People make decisions. That's respect to that person. I would never, all I do is I recommend, I tell in my life, I share my experiences, but it's still up to like I said before, it's still up to the person whether they want to move here, stay here. I can be a guide, but ultimately it's the person's decision to come to the Philippines. All right, got to the bottom. Thank you very much for the live stream, the longest ever live stream we've ever had. I'll try to keep it 2 hours next time. I apologize. It got lengthy on the live stream today. I'm sorry, but next time I'll keep the time in mind. I didn't have my watch, and I wasn't paying attention. I was so focused on the comments. So next time I'll keep it within 2 hours. I don't want to hold people's time too much. All right. Take care, everyone. Please, everyone, stay blessed. Stay blessed, everyone.